Yeah, you know what time it is. No scripts, no filters, no fear. We said what we said and meant that. Off the record. Off the record, yeah, we keep it real. No filter shit, we say what we feel. Politics, stories, truth on display. Come on. We talk that talk in our own way. Off the record, Minion the guy, let's go. Foxy 2 Roxy 3, she go hard.
I swear on everything, that is exactly what he said right here in the studio.
That is the funniest thing I have heard all week.
So hard, busy with the facts she never missed. Nah. I said what I said, that's the twist. Off the record, yeah. Come and catch the vibe. Where real ones talk and the truth survive. Late night truth, we don't just speak. We pull the roots from what they keep. From pain to progress, we light the flame. No spin, no script, we call it by name. Minion bring the vision, Foxy bring the flame. Lizzie drop a cease, it'll never be the same. I said what I said, say it loud, no shame. We taking truth global, remember the name. No apologies, no disguise. Just soul and purpose in our eyes. We move with power, bold and free. Say it loud, you gon' feel this energy. We said what we said. Off the record. Yeah. Yeah. We said what we said. Off the record.
Hey, what's good, everybody? It is Off the Record with your boy Minion the God, aka Minion with Opinion. And we got my host in the building, my hostess with the mostest. I said what I said. What's going on?
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. And I guess you see our comment in the chat. If you haven't already hit the like button, please do that at this time. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to all 3 channels. Off the record, Foxy 2 Roxy 3, and I said what I said. But welcome in, everybody. I hope everybody's day going great. How is everybody doing tonight?
Happy Hump Day.
Hump Day.
All right, guys. So today we are going to be, of course, talking about the Orange Goblin, the what do you call them? Orange Agent Orange.
Agent Orange, aka Agent Shitty Pants.
Okay, we
he got a new name.
Oh, Agent Diaper Rash Booty.
Diaper Rash, okay.
Okay, so today, guys, so much stuff going on. First off, we all know that Trump yesterday tacoed, of course, on Tuesday, and decided to extend the ceasefire indefinitely. That's what they're saying. However, we're still having the blockade. So we seized 1 ship. Iran seized 2 ships today. So it's a lot of craziness going on at the Straits.
All right. I guess we're gonna play chicken next.
I guess so, because at this point, this is definitely a game to him.
Yeah. He's not serious about this at all, and it's really sad for him to even be the commander in chief, acting, the way that he's acting, all this indecisiveness, all of this back and forth and tacoing, Today I say this. What? Not even tomorrow. 1 minute I say one thing, and then the next minute, you changing your whole mind. So, how are you making these decisions? Are they just, you pulling them out your butt or what? Because
If any president before him acted like this,
right.
I just don't even
The
know
the
how.
25th Amendment would already been invoked,
Exactly.
especially if it had been a Democrat president. So I won't just say any president, but we know how the Republicans operate. So if it had been Joe Biden doing this, or Barack Obama, or even Bill Clinton,
Well, the
they would have tried.
insanity.
Yeah, they would have. The calls would have been. It would have been calls for him to resign or impeach.
Exactly. He would have been resigned. He would have been impeached. Maybe not. I'm sure they wouldn't have resigned, but I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure the right would have impeached them as many times as they could to try to get them out the office.
Hmm.
But these bootlickers, because that's what they are now. They're just glorified uh, placeholders for Trump. Pretty much, they have no power. They've basically ceded all of their authority and all of their power to go through public rituals of looking like just embarrassment rituals,
Hmm.
because these people are crazy. Now it's to the point to where they've looked so bad for so long, they're like trying to go back at each other. Like, no, you can't backslide and pop on this one. But we
Hmm.
have Tucker Carlson. He's apologizing to the world for, you know, being one of the reasons why Trump is in office right now. So,
Well, he's a day late and a dollar short, and I'll digress.
but
Too
we got
little,
a
too
lot
late.
of stuff. Exactly. There's so much stuff that we're going to be talking about today, but we're going to start off with should we do it with the Midas touch?
Well, let's salute the chat first, and then we'll
Oh yeah.
start with the Midas touch. So we have Penelope in the house, aka Printer Phase. Thank you
All
for
right,
being here tonight.
Penelope. Thank you
Yeah,
for
thank
being
you
in
for
the
being here.
building. All
Hey,
right.
Nana and Nini, thank you for being here tonight. And hello to Pugoso's family. Thank you for being here tonight. We also have Larpo Marks in the house. Thank you for being here tonight. And we have Teflon Don in the house. TDS. Okay. Teflon
Yeah,
Don.
you sure
Thank you
right
for being
about that.
here.
You know, they be talking about black fatigue and stuff. This is definitely some Trump derangement syndrome because I'm sick and tired of Trump. I don't
Yeah.
know how deranged I am, but I think the
Yeah.
derangement comes on their end.
Right.
Um,
Right.
let's go
Because
into.
it would be remiss of us not to call this shit out because it's not normal. He want us to, he want everyone in America to feel like his administration is a normal administration, and it's not.
Well,
It's
like
not.
I
Nothing
said,
he's doing is normal. Nothing he's doing is American, and most of the things he's doing is not right. A lot of it is criminal. So
I feel like he is a traitor to the American nation. And
yeah.
once Democrats get in, if they're not talking about putting him in jail and removing all of this administration, like all the corruption that has taken place over the last year, they
Hmm.
talk about the corruption from Biden administration. Are you
Right.
fucking kidding me?
Right.
The corruption in this administration,
And the
Biden couldn't
family.
hold a candle.
And his family. Jared Kushner just filling up all his pockets. He's filling his pockets up as much as he can. He done made billions upon billions of dollars
Yep,
by being, associated with the president because he's his son-in-law. And Trump uses him anytime he feel like, he sent him over there to Iran to do some talks, but I'm sure he was over there making real estate deals.
absolutely.
You know.
I mean, that's his specialty. That's what,
Hmm. It was
that's what
smoke and mirrors saying that you're over there negotiating. How the hell are you negotiating and you're not even in office? He's
that
not in
part.
office. Yeah, he's not in office at all. So why would he go over there and negotiate instead of sending the Secretary of State, who is Marco Rubio? You send your son-in-law over there so that he could try to make some real estate deals. In my humble opinion.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah, I had to throw that in there. Allegedly.
Get our girl. What's she? All right. Well, let's go into our first video from Midas Touch, and let's get into it.
Impeachment, impeachment, impeachment. You are going to get impeached again, Donald. Third time's a charm. When Democrats take control of the House of Representatives next year, they're going to impeach you again. I know this is what you feared the most. This is why you were terrified of what was going to happen in Virginia if they voted yes on their referendum to amend the Constitution, to do a mid-decade redistricting, to give Democrats a 10-1 advantage in terms of the makeup of the congressional delegation in Virginia. You started the gerrymander war in Texas because you were afraid of losing the midterms in 2026 and then getting impeached. But Donald, like everything you do, it backfired in your face. Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom stood up to you with Prop 50 saying, I am going to end your term, Donald. And he did. He inspired Democrats throughout the nation to also do mid-decade redistricting. And Virginia, yesterday, the results were in. There's mid-decade redistricting passed, and Democrats got the advantage. And now Donald Trump is terrified that former President Barack Obama was really the puppet master behind it all. One of Donald Trump's chief propagandists, Laura Loomer, posted, Democrats are stealing Virginia. Compliments of Barack Hussein. Virginia.
Well, first off, let's be very clear. The biggest campaign for Virginia for the Democrats was just Trump himself. It didn't take even. I'm inclined to believe that even if Barack Obama didn't come out and release his little campaign video to help, he still would have had no chance.
Right. And he started this. And it's just so ironic how the Republicans, whenever they lose, they just cry, 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 cry. But when they're doing what they do, they on board with it. It's all right for him to do what he want to do.
Chad, let us know what y'all think about the redistricting. I'm so sorry to cut you off. I said what I said,
okay.
but y'all let us know what y'all think about the redistricting, and how the Democrats stole Virginia. Do you think they
Was it
stole
fair?
it, or
Was it fair? It was. I feel like it's fair game. He kicked it off in Texas with Greg Abbott, and then Gavin Newsom responded with California. And then he asked Ohio, he asked Indiana, which Indiana declined. He asked Utah, he asked North Carolina. Now Florida is getting ready to get into the fight of redistricting. The difference in the Republicans and the Democrats, and the reason why the Democrats is going to stand and the Republicans, may be thrown out, because the Democrats are asking the public to make the decision. They're not just going in there and saying,
Absolutely.
like Greg Abbott, we're not going to, they didn't just go in there and do what they wanted to do. They asked the public if it was okay to do. And so they can take it to court all they want. They took California to court and they lost. Okay. And they're going to take Virginia to court and they're going to lose that too.
Again, right.
Yeah, because when the people vote on it, it's a difference in when the Republicans just make a decision. Now, I don't feel like it's a fair map, because it is 10-1, and I don't think that's fair. But if you go to some of the red states, it's the same shit. Some of the red states have hollowed out the Democrats, and they don't have a voice. And so what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Now, when everybody get through playing games, then we can go back to BAU and redistrict.
Right. But this ain't we ain't bringing no knife to the gunfight.
Right. We can wait for the census like we're supposed to every decade and do and follow the rules and go that route. But like you said though, but at this moment, you have to meet the moment. And people been saying that they're tired of the Democrats not fighting. Well, the Democrats are fighting and the Republicans don't like it. Point blank, period.
is about to become uninhabitable, is what Laura Loomer says. And then Donald Trump was making post after post about his previous impeachments. And he's saying, my 2019 impeachment is going to be expunged because we uncovered that there was treason taking place. I'll show you some of these posts that he's been making over and over again. But let's recall what Donald Trump said recently during a press conference, that if Democrats win the midterms, he's going to get impeached. Here's what Donald Trump said at a recent press conference. Let's play it.
You got to win the midterms, because if we don't win the midterms, it's just going to be, they'll find a reason to impeach me. I'll get impeached.
And it wasn't only Donald Trump saying it. It was MAGA Mike Johnson, the soon-to-be former disgraced Speaker of the House. Here's what he said recently at a press conference, that if we lose the House majority, he says, the radical left will impeach Donald Trump. Here, play this clip.
Everything, as has been said here, everything is on the line in the midterms of 2026, and we have much more to do. But if we lose the House majority, the radical left, as you've already heard, is going to impeach President Trump. They're going to create absolute chaos. We cannot let that happen. And
more from MAGA Mike Johnson here, saying the same on state regime media, which calls itself Fox. Let's play this clip.
Until then, Speaker Johnson, you have a very, very, very narrow majority.
He got a very smooth face. Good for dressing up in makeup, too, when he's not on the clock, huh?
Well, he's one of them people that help bring Grinder down. So at the end of the day, because
they were telling all his secrets.
Yeah. Well, remember when the app closes up when the Republicans have their convention? He's part of the convention that shuts it down.
Oh yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah. So of course he's gonna make that claim or what have you. But what have the House passed since they've been in Congress this year, other than the big ugly bill? They barely passed budgets. The Republicans shut down the House twice already, and they go on vacation every month. So if the American people want to hire them to just go on vacation while the American people work hard every day, because your job don't allow you to go on vacation every other month or whenever you feel like it. You work 6 weeks and then you need a 6-week vacation. And so the Republicans have failed the American public, haven't really produced any real legislation, and they really haven't done anything for anybody other than just, be a yes to Trump.
Yep. A floor mat.
Scale of 1 to 10, how likely is it that the Republicans build on this very slim majority next year?
We're going to win the midterms. Absolutely. We're going to have a big victory, and I think we can expand that majority so we can keep going. We have to give President Trump 4 years and not 2. Imagine if the Democrats took over the House, they'd impeach him.
They're getting ready for the investigations. They're already ramping it up.
Exactly.
Speaker Johnson, thanks for coming in. Great to.
Then you had one of the Fox hosts, a guy by the name of Raymond Arroyo, when he was describing why Donald Trump was starting the mid-decade redistricting in Texas. He described it as a, quote, insurance policy to avoid being impeached. And of course, Donald Trump has all of his sycophants say what he wants them to say on state regime media. This is what Trump said when he started in Texas to try to rig the elections, and now it backfired. Here is what Raymond Arroyo had to say. Let's play this clip.
Look, this is an insurance policy, I think, by the president to avoid what happened in his first term, which was needless investigations leading to impeachment efforts. So he's trying to keep that majority in the Republican corner. Look, I hate gerrymandering, I have to tell you, just as a matter of course. I don't like it. You disenfranchise voters. A district should be contiguous and compact. It shouldn't look like a snake's house, where it's just swirling all over. And I worry about many of these things. But the problem is the Democrats started the war, so you have to match them. Now everybody's getting into this battle. Maryland and Illinois and Florida.
Did he say the Democrats started this war?
That's okay. It don't matter who started. We started it, and we're gonna finish it. If that's that's the narrative they want to run.
Trump started this shit in Texas. He said
we just seen him. We just seen him. I got to win the midterms. They're gonna impeach me.
Right. Right.
So Taco started this.
5 seats in Texas.
And they're only crying because they're getting outvoted.
Yeah, they getting their ass
They're getting their ass
drug and handed to them
exactly
time and time again.
Because
when it comes,
they're used to the Democrats not fighting, and the Democrats are actually fighting at this point, and they don't like it.
I don't even think it's the Democrats. See, the thing is, people got this shit misconstrued. This don't have shit to do with Democrats and Republicans. When you have a president who is literally making it hard for everybody that's not rich, making it more expensive for everyone who is not rich,
exactly,
to live their lives, it's deeper than just the Democrats, and the people are speaking, and the people in America are the power, and that's it. The Democrats don't have no power. The Republicans don't have any power. The people of America are the ones who are showing up, showing out, coming to these protests, and going to the voting booths. That's what it is. It's not a Democratic thing, because guess what? Democrats suck at messaging right now. They still suck at messaging.
Mm-hmm.
And if they had any clue, obviously the people like the way that Trump, how he postures and tries to display this overly masculine, image of America, which isn't true, because I mean, obviously the defense secretary has a makeup station in the Pentagon.
Mm-hmm.
So these people are not masculine, they're not strong, but they like the optics, just like they like playing with AI and releasing a whole bunch of posts in AI. These people don't live in reality.
And just like Kevin says, pedos don't make good leaders. So when you got a pedo in the office, then the people are going to retaliate against you, especially when you try to hide the Trumpstein files.
Yeah, the Trumpstein files, that's what did it for them.
Yeah, and so I don't know why people feel like the Democrats are not going to be in charge. All the elections we done had, the Democrats done won 30 seats already.
With their poor messaging.
Every special election that we've had, the Democrats won except for one. So that's 30-1.
With bad messaging.
With horrible messaging. Horrible messaging. Because the Democrats always want to dot the I's and cross the T's and do everything politically.
Which is something we should probably want in our government.
In a normal situation. This is an abnormal situation.
Yeah, okay? Right. So, but I mean, at the end of the day, I do want everyone to, even if you're a Republican, at this point, how could you be proud of the Republican Party?
Right.
They literally are just serving as his footstool and bootlicker.
And bootlicker, yes.
So I don't know what to say for the Republican Party. They couldn't look any worse right now.
Trump can't even rally a crowd at this point. And he's weak in power, so I don't understand why all the bootlicking. Why are you still sticking by this guy?
Because like he makes you look good, because he wears a diaper.
Right.
He has orange blotchy skin. He never should have even been you guys' elect for the representative of the Republican Party anyway.
Right.
He doesn't look like a masculine figure. He looks like a orange glop of goo.
He looked like an old trans man to me, but I'm gonna go ahead and digress.
He looked creepy. Could you imagine him around children?
I know.
And female children? Oh,
well,
no.
The children that be in the White House when he be signing those bills and stuff, they scared of him because he looked like a whole buffoon to them. But at the end of the day,
let's give it. We go. Okay, so we didn't derail the conversation a little bit.
Yeah. We don't went on a whole tangent. But let me just say this: MAGA is doing a bunch of infighting. The party is breaking down, and I feel like when he leaves, MAGA is just going to disappear anyway. You're going to have a little small fraction of them because, some people like to be stuck on stupid and that's just who they are. But I guarantee you, MAGA is on its way out also, just as he's on his way out. And if the Democrats win the House and the Senate, MAGA going to lose their mind and they're going to dissipate anyway because he'll no longer be effective because everything that he tries to do it will be shut down and it'll be taken to court. And he's been taken to court on a lot of shit that he's been doing. And he's still not even getting away with the stuff that he's trying to do with the stroke of a pen. That's how smart he is, you know.
And on top of that, I feel like MAGA should also be rounded up. Whoever decides to claim MAGA after his presidency should be rounded up in jail. I mean, just plain and simple, because these people are clearly prone to
Oh, don't worry.
being
Don't,
treacherous, and being
right.
traitorous to their own, to the
Country.
country. We seen it on January 6th. You know how they would go against their own country. These people should be arrested. These people rounded up and arrested if you still claim MAGA after he's impeached and after he's jailed and gone.
Well, that's why they're fighting so hard. And the reason why they're continuing to uphold him and to support him, because their goal was to cheat to win anyway. So that's why
Right.
they wasn't concerned about the bills that they were passing. They were so sure that they were going to win all of the seats, and the Democrats was just going to sit back and let them do what they do. And the Democrats decided to fight back. And so now everybody get nervous and everybody, shaking in their boots because investigations will be coming. And just because the president tell you to do something, because you're head you're head of a department, you still have to follow the law.
The
No matter.
Constitution, the law,
You have to follow
exactly.
the law and you have to follow the Constitution. And that goes for every facet of the government, whether you in the government or you in the military. Yes, you're supposed to follow the president's orders, but you're also supposed to follow the Constitution. And the Democrats gonna show y'all better than they can tell y'all once
And
these
the,
investigations start.
huh? And you want to know what's so crazy? The people on the right that supported this stuff, see, they thought that because he postured in such a masculine way that he was
Mm-hmm.
going to be able to bully his way through.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, him and the entire administration is incompetent, incapable.
Yeah.
They are low IQ, very low IQ
Yeah.
people. This
Nobody's
is
qualified,
DEI at its worst.
and no one is qualified to do the jobs that he's put them in. And that's the
See,
reason why
the Democrats,
that's why it's
not
not
only
working
are they
out for them.
willing, right? The Democrats, not only are they willing to meet you where you at on the same playing field, and we can use the same weapons that you got, but not only that, but we smarter than you.
Well, they look down on people that's educated. They don't like educated folks.
And that's why Iran had to teach our dumbasses a lesson, because that ain't us. That's not the majority. That's not the public. That's not the American people that's going to war with Iran right now. That is Donald Trump being dog walked by Bibi Netanyahu into this damn war that he wasn't prepared for. And Iran at every time, every headline, Iran is making a fucking ass out, a clown out of Donald Trump
And BB.
and Bibi.
Because
So
BB not that smart either. He just a grifter like Trump. He's a little bit smarter than Trump because he's been in office a little bit longer, and he do know a little bit, about the government. Trump
he's been trying to do this for 40
Yeah.
years.
and Trump is clueless. Trump don't have a clue on how the government operates and how it runs, and that's why he have to have so many handlers to stop him from making all these dumb decisions. But they're not doing a good job because he's continuing to make stupid mistakes and stupid decisions. And one of the biggest stupid mistakes he made was going to war, agreeing to go to war with Bibi Netanyahu. That was a huge mistake to mess around with Iran, because they're gonna FAFO him like they've been doing.
Exactly.
Everybody's threatening to jump in. I don't like it, but it's where we are. And sadly, we're going to have red states and blue states exclusively. That's not good for America. And I'll tell you later why.
And now Democrats are getting the last laugh, Donald. You have California Governor Gavin Newsom posting the following: Virginia just beat Trump's rig game. November ends him. Democrats will take back Congress. And Governor Newsom made the following video. Play this clip.
Well, what a night in Virginia. We keep saying it. When we fight fire with fire, we win. and we are winning all across the United States in state houses, in courthouses, and now in the court of public opinion. But what is at stake is putting a stake in the heart of the Trump administration by taking back the House of Representatives and taking back the United States Senate. MAGA, dare I say, they're losing at their own game. They're on the defense and they're scared.
Governor Newsom also said FAFO, F around and find out. Also, you have former President Barack Obama also making posts celebrating this big victory in Virginia, rubbing it in Donald Trump's face about how Virginia stood up strongly against Donald Trump and this regime. I'm sure that's keeping Donald Trump up. And I know it is because last night, here's what Donald Trump posted. Donald Trump posted this. He posted this video of, it's a photo of Obama. And then Donald Trump had this propagandist on Newsmax, another state regime channel. And they're like, and now we must find Obama guilty of sedition. And this is what Donald Trump posted on Truth Social. We must go after Obama for sedition. Here, play this clip right here.
It should shake every single American in their shoes. I hate to say this, but President Barack Obama, there is now incontrovertible evidence that he was the spearhead of a seditious conspiracy to subvert the will of the American people and overthrow the United States government back in 2016.
Oh, hell no.
We must,
Throw that man in jail.
absolutely must, hold every one of these criminals accountable.
Barack,
how humiliating. Here's what Donald Trump's been posting all night in a frenzy, in a panic. Unmasked. Secret Witness 2 was anti-Trump intel officer pushing Russiagate. Ukraine impeachment. Okay. Then Donald Trump posts the following as well. Trump just scored total vindication over the deep state. The U.S. House is moving forward expunging Trump's 2019 impeachment because of bombshell files released by Tulsi Gabbard. Those files found the accusations surrounding Ukraine were knowingly faulty. Gabbard has since made criminal referrals as a result. Good, expunge. Trump was right all along. It's like some deranged stuff. Donald Trump posts the following. Senator Rick Scott introduces legislation to repudiate 2019 Trump impeachment. Dude, Trump is terrified of getting impeached. Look, even if Democrats did not win the yes vote in Virginia, I think based on the way these special elections were going, Democrats would take control of the House. I just find it ironic that Donald Trump tried to rig the game and it backfired in his face, because Donald Trump is the worst tactician. He's the worst planner. He's the worst builder. Yeah. He's an idiot. He's a destroyer. Exactly. And now he's going to be impeached 3 times, Donald.
We can leave it there, but you know, it's crazy because this man is so fucking dumb. So dumb. And we really have let him lead us like this is the 2nd term. How did this happen? God.
Racism.
Racism. Exactly.
Racism is how it happened. And at the end of the day, you can't expunge an impeachment. Once you impeach, that's going down in history. And the House can do whatever they want to do. And that's how stupid he is. They'll tell this fool that, okay, yeah, we're gonna expunge this impeachment, and that's not gonna happen. And even if you could get it to happen, it has to be probably 2/3 votes in order for that to even happen. Which the Democrats will never go on. They'll never be on board with that.
Right.
And so he just spewing out a bunch of garbage and derangement crap. And like Midas Touch said, he's scared. And it shows that he's scared. He's posting every 5 seconds. And I don't know why he don't have time to answer Caitlyn Jenner's phone call, because he's on Truth Social 24/7. So it seemed like to me he should have the time to, pick up his boy's phone call when he called him to help him out with his passport.
Pick up his boy's phone.
But Caitlyn said he was busy and he doing presidential stuff, and the only thing I see you doing is posting crazy shit on Truth Social. And so at the end of the day, though, that'll never happen. He would love for it to happen, but it's not going to happen. And it's all about smoke and mirrors with him. Lies, smoke, and mirrors. That's basically what this presidency is.
And I think that the Virginia, uh, the Virginia results really kind of got him worked up now. So,
yeah,
a lot of people are talking about it.
We're probably going to see all kind of stuff coming from him now that you say that.
Let's speaking of the Virginia vote, I think we have a debate that we can watch with Abby Phillip, and we can see one of the MAGA pundits try their best to try to make this look like Trump has, I guess, some type of upper hand or something. Let's see.
Okay.
That the threat of a resumption of hostilities wasn't enough for them to scurry something together. What does that tell you about how much leverage the United States has by continuing to use force as a threat here?
Right, that's a great question. I think they called his bluff. I think that the Iranians figured out that the whole taco thing, the whole Trump always chickens out. They estimated that his bluster, at first it shocked them and frightened them. And then the more they, I guess, became familiar with his MO, the more they saw that he was all talk. And that I think that the
First off, why do all the MAGA pundits and the Republicans look like they could be evil supervillains? Like, no, he looked like he got a little bit of Grinch in him, and then he just definitely looks like a supervillain type.
Right. Other big point is Trump wildly underestimated the Iranians' capacity to suffer. I really think that he thought that by bombing and causing widespread devastation and all the rest of it, that he could leverage them into a negotiation. Instead, he watched them martyr themselves and strengthen their hand. I don't know what's going on behind closed doors in Iran by any means. But I suspect that Trump probably does, and the Israelis probably do. And they've come to the conclusion, and that's why they pulled off yesterday, come to the conclusion that it was disastrous to continue.
I mean, it's also surprising that they would even schedule or even get to the point where they were committing the vice president to go to Pakistan when they hadn't even gotten sign off on broad concepts of a deal.
Well, I think that they were obviously hopeful. And, to Geraldo's point, we don't actually know what's going on behind the scenes. I think it's fair to say that part of this is because they are, in fact, fractured. And then, of course, makes complete and total sense, given the situation on the ground, that we would doubt that there is fractures within their leadership to the extent that it exists is kind of naive to me. I think, you want to make sure that you're doing a lasting peace. Yesterday, you had brought up, I think it was a Reuters piece that suggested that international leaders were kind of worried about whether or not the president was going to lead for a headline and just get something done. This shows, again, quite the opposite, that he's being thoughtful and not wanting to just grab a headline and is, in fact, willing to take on a political cost so that we can get to a point where we have a lasting peace.
I'm not sure that's what this shows, because it would be one thing if the reporting indicated that we were close to something, headline, a lasting deal. It suggests that we weren't close to any of those things. We couldn't get them to even respond to broad strokes. You're willing to talk about your nuclear deal. That doesn't suggest that we were close to anything at all.
No, and we shouldn't be in this war at all. These last 7 weeks have been horrible for the United States of America and for people all across the globe. The reality is we've spent $60 billion on this war. It's going to be another billion or two by the time the show happens again tomorrow. And the cost has been real and has been detrimental. We've had over a dozen service members who have died, hundreds who have been wounded. In my community, in the constituents that I represent, they're feeling this at the gas pump, in the grocery store. People are deciding whether or not they're going to be able to afford the medicine or the rent. The consequences have been dire. And this administration has done this because we have a wannabe dictator as president of the United States. And again, we are in a war that was completely unnecessary. It is. It's an authoritarian, an elected authoritarian who is operating as a dictator, who thought that he could kill, destroy, and bomb an entire nation into submission. And that isn't what has happened. And that isn't what's happened.
Fair and reasonable. And I've said this before, like, to debate the actual issues here and whether or not we think that this was the right move. But to immediately go to this lazy talking point that is used by the left all the time, just screaming about a dictator in chief, and it's not a serious conversation.
I beg to differ.
Me too, because baby, it's been serious enough where he done lost 30 elections so far, and and 8 to 10 million people have been spilling out in the streets.
For no king.
Yeah, for no king. So I don't think it's that tired at all. You may be tired of it, but we're not tired of saying it, sir, because it is what it is.
It is what it is. And he is trying to be a dictator.
If you say that you're serious about the issues that people are facing, talk about the policies.
It is serious.
Instead of going to
it is serious.
Let's
talk about the policies.
That is the policy, sir.
I think it's fair to say. I think it is fair to say.
Costing us billions of dollars, exactly.
This war is what's on the agenda.
That's right.
And it is a test for President Trump. It's a test for the United States. One of the interesting pieces of reporting also that to come out is that our stockpiles of weapons are being depleted. 45% of our precision strike weapons expended, 50% of our THAAD, these are missiles that intercept ballistic missiles, have been expended. Patriot batteries, 50% expended. Tomahawk missiles, 30% expended. It's going to take years to rebuild these stockpiles. And the concern is that if there is another conflict.
And it's so stupid because this war is for nothing. We're getting nothing out this fucking war except our fucking weapons being depleted, people getting government contracts because of the war, lining their pockets, people not like you and I are like the average middle-class American that has to go to work every day and build up their 401k and try to have a little money so that they can retire. Not those people, of course. They don't get anything.
And don't forget the manipulation of the stock market, because every time you come out there and say that the war is ending, and he does that allegedly to manipulate the stock market so that people can know when to hold them and when to fold them, and he's been accused
market manipulation.
Yeah, they've been accused of inside trading during this war, and it appears, that is that the reason why he was on board to go to war, so that him and his billionaire friends can, put more money in their pockets? Because that's basically what's going on.
Yep.
That we're not going to be ready. So that's the other thing that's on the horizon here for us.
I think that it's a very rational concern because there might be a conflict in a completely different area of the world that we haven't even anticipated yet. We're worried about a peer conflict with China that we might not have enough weapons to support. What I think we need to do a better job at, and by the way, I think this war is a disaster. We'll talk about the messaging later, but we do not have a dictator. I'm sorry. We have a very unsuccessful dictator. If we have a dictator, he's checked continually all the time by his own Congress, by his own courts, by other countries and our allies. There is no conversation about the Iranian dictatorship and torturing their own people. I mean, I would just be curious to hear what you have to say about that.
I appreciate that. So let's be very clear. This Congress has capitulated to what this administration has wanted at every turn, from the big ugly bill to cutting Medicaid to making it harder for people to live. And I'm not saying that Iran is a perfect nation. What I'm saying is this president ran.
Could you condemn the actual dictator?
Yeah.
Can we talk about this?
Shut the fuck.
Because we said we had a president who said.
First off, I'm so sick and tired of the right talking about Iran this. I don't give a fuck about Iran. I care about the United States of America. You fucking traitors. All you should be concerned about is the United States of America. Not Israel, not Iran, not Tehran. None of them places matter to me as an American. I'm sick and tired of these people. Well, can you at least condemn? No, I don't even know those people.
All right.
I can condemn y'all motherfucking asses, though.
Well, they always want to do the whataboutism. Everything is a whataboutism. Anytime you could critique or make a point, it's all about the whataboutism. Well, can you condemn the real dictator? Well, your president trying to be a dictator. America just won't allow him to be one. But if he had his way, he would definitely be a dictator. Okay? It's just fortunately...
Who dictated the millions of dollars that went to Israel to help them commit a genocide on Gaza and now on Lebanon? Who dictated where them funds went? Because it wasn't none of the taxpayers.
Right. Nobody's on board with this war but him. MAGA wasn't even on board with it because he ran on no more wars. And that's what they was bragging. Oh, Trump's going to be the president. We're not going to have any more wars. And we're going to be, Trump told them they're going to get tired of winning and the gas prices going down. Everything's going down in the economy. Energy going to go down. Everybody's going to live great. And he's doing exactly opposite of what he ran on. And so
let's be clear.
Right. Nobody care about these other countries.
The other countries are doing A-okay though.
Fine. Yeah, off our dime.
Off our dime.
Israel doing great off our money.
Not the United Emirates, the what is it? Emirates, the United Emirates or whatever you call that place. Again,
Emirates.
I don't live out there, so I don't care what the name of these places are. But now we about to give them. Now Trump saying we gonna give them money.
But think about it too, though. Those people been fighting for 2,000 years, and they're gonna fight for 2,000 more years if the earth still remains. They have been fighting forever. It's Emiratis, and so the UAE Emiratis.
Yeah.
And they've been fighting all of this time. They're never gonna stop fighting. So why the hell Trump get into this fight? Even George Bush, he shouldn't even went over there and caused war with Iraq because those people don't mind fighting. They will fight tooth and nail into the end until they can't fight anymore.
Yep. And it's not worth it losing all these soldiers for nothing.
Right. Troops, money, power, all
everything.
Ammunition.
Standing.
And you heard what she said. It's a national security at this point with us.
We're insolvent.
Yeah, we're using all these weapons. So if someone else launch an attack on us, we're weak at this point.
Again, like I said, Trump should be arrested and imprisoned for the rest of his life for what he's doing to the United States of America. Again, I don't care about all them other places. Iran didn't pose no threat for over a decade, if any, at any point. So this, to me, should be treasonous.
And who tore up the deal? Who tore up the Iran deal that Obama made? Because Obama had a deal with him. So who tore that up?
Trump. Again, so like I said, all this shit, this should be against the law. This should be arrestable offenses, and him and his entire administration should be going down. The Democrats need to only be talking about how they're going to take all of these motherfuckers, these corrupt ass maggots, down in the 2028 election. If y'all vote for them, the only ones y'all should vote for are the ones that's talking about taking their asses down.
To have forever wars. He said he didn't want to have forever wars, and yet here we are in one. $60 billion. We have people in this administration, as well as Congress people, Democrats and Republicans, who are making billions.
Just to add layers to this, the president is now putting on the table a bailout of the UAE
Thank you.
in the middle of a war that is incredibly unpopular, that has no end in sight. How is that going to work with the?
And then before we even get into that, is it that we don't have no money for Medicare? We don't have no money for social services. The states got to do it because the United States of America, we can't be worried about our citizens like that, you know. But now we gonna bail out the UAE. I mean, yeah, the UAE.
That's what he said.
What?
Yeah, because he got to pay. He got to pay his way out this war. He don't have no other way out. Hey, Jimbo, thank you for coming in. Hey, Lucky Chuck.
If you ask me, that plane wasn't a gift. That plane was
Oh,
was
no.
that was a way to launder to me, if you ask
Yeah,
me. So they
yeah.
gave you the plane, and you gonna funnel the money in it by way of
That was a
bailout.
bribe. That was a bribe, is what that was. And
No, that was it was a transaction, all right. But I don't.
transaction. Yeah, but at the end of the day, that was just to bribe him. That was just to get on his good side, because you're gonna have to do. You're gonna be our flunky. You're gonna do what we tell you to do.
Well, I wonder how much we gonna bail them out, and if we bailing them out, can we go ahead and put that $400 million plane up on the market so we can at least have some of that money?
No, that's got to go to his library.
Yeah,
I really wish that they wouldn't even. To me, with him, if they found him guilty of treason, don't even let him have a library. He's not even worthy of that. A president,
Right.
how presidents get a library when they leave.
Right.
We don't even need a presidential library with him because there's nothing but corruption in this presidency. I don't
Okay,
even feel
the
like
whole
he's
library
worthy
needs to
of
be in
that.
the FBI investigation unit, if you ask me.
The whole, if he do have a library, fill it up with Epstein files so it can be history.
Right?
I got enough
I
files.
feel like the whole library need to be tagged and
Yeah.
put into the Federal Bureau of Investigations unit and stored until we have a full investigation on all that shit.
Yeah, he have enough criminal shit to fill up a whole library. Really, to fill up 3 or 4 libraries. So that if they're gonna do a library for him, that's what it need to be filled with, so that the America won't make this mistake again, and they can always go back and reference when you had a tyrant and a wannabe dictator and somebody stupid, dumb, and uneducated, and not qualified to be the president, not to ever do that dumb shit again.
They need to
Okay.
have his whole cabinet and administration on display as well.
We don't know because we're preliminarily talking about this. It's not an official proposal. This
Do you
is
think
something
it's a
that
good
they're
idea
saying.
for us to do?
It could potentially be a good idea depending on how it actually works.
To lend money to the U.S.
How?
In this context, depending on the specifics,
on.
it can,
They walk in golden slippers.
Okay, so
They're
we do
walking
this with
golden
other nations
slippers.
pretty frequently or
Okay,
semi-frequently.
can I say one other thing about you started the piece with the depletion of our stockpiles. How do we know what the depletion of our stockpiles are? How is it that all of a sudden every news outlet in the country got the depletion of our stockpiles? Who benefits?
Whistleblowers. We know because people are talking, and you always gonna have a whistleblower that's gonna.
But what he's saying is it could be the Trump administration because they're asking for more money anyway. So this could
okay.
be
Oh, he put that out there like that.
the
A plot.
reason why it's on all of the outlets now.
Mm-hmm. Good point. Good point.
It's when there's
Amen.
fear over depletion of stockpiles. Right. Defense contractors benefit. In the same way, oil companies benefit when the price of oil goes up. You can't divorce yourself from the, everybody is not all doopity-doo and rally behind the flag and bad guys, let's get the bad. There are those with self-serving, nefarious motivations.
You
also.
don't think we actually have a depletion?
It's an interesting question. I have covered war, 11 assignments in Afghanistan, 11 in Iraq. I've seen lots of armaments be depleted over time. You have there is a process where there is constant replenishment, and to think that we can get a depletion of our stockpiles fighting a third-rate country like Iran, and this was the army we were going to take against China and Russia. I think it's preposterous.
That's scary. Yeah.
I hear your skepticism, but I do think that there were some unique aspects of this particular conflict that would make it possible or even plausible, even if you are skeptical. Because Iran had very cheap drones that we were using very expensive weapons to shoot down. And that imbalance is pretty unique to this conflict. And it also I think suggests that that's a problem that we need to resolve. And I think that's one of the things that has been revealed by this.
As far as I know, we lost 3 F-35s. We lost 1 F-18. I don't know, I guess a couple of accidents here and there.
Yeah.
In terms of what our armed forces have expended, we have a vast amount of munitions.
You're missing Ukraine as well.
Here's what I'll say. I just want to say, like you mentioned the policy. Those are policy choices. Those are choices that when we say, are we going to, I'm sorry, when you the UAE and we bail them out, that is money that is going not into the United States, but across seas. And that is what Justin is saying in terms of when his folks are saying, I thought you were going to put America first, and my pocketbook is getting smaller and smaller and tighter, and then the UAE and their golden slippers are getting richer and richer.
Quite talking about handing over money without any conditions.
And to Geraldo's point, we know that defense contractors make millions and billions of dollars with federal contracts, and yet again, that actually is not going into the everyday American pocket. So those are actually policy decisions that this administration has to account for.
Exactly. Well said.
And I've never known, like Geraldo was saying, I've never known us to restock once we use something. So why aren't you restocking? Whatever we use, why come these defense contractors are not replenishing us with everything that we use? All the money, especially with the budget that the military has.
Exactly. They're pocketing the money instead of doing what they're supposed to be doing with it. If you ask me, allegedly.
And Agent Orange is asking for $1.4 trillion for the military. So Geraldo do have a point. They may be just putting that out there just so that this budget can pass for this $1.4 trillion that Agent Orange wants.
Right.
That's not probably going to go to the military. Probably going to go to him and his friends, more than likely, allegedly.
Right. Exactly. And it's crazy how all these, white conservative men that claim to be so masculine and stuff only can seem to find money from the taxpayer dollars and can't actually, create an actual business from scratch. They're using, a lot of these companies weren't even in existence until days before they received these million and billion dollar contracts. So
exactly.
It's crazy. But
and remember, Kristen Noem said she don't even know who had contracts when she was in office. Remember,
right?
When she was in Congress, they was asking her, who is this company, and she was like, she don't even know. And the guy had applied for the contract. The guy had applied for the contract like 3 weeks before she, 3 weeks after she gave it to him. But we know it was probably, more than likely her contract. That's why she had to. It was some of her people, and that's the reason why she had to get out of there.
Right.
Because one thing Trump don't like, he wants to be the only grifter. He don't mind grifting himself, but he don't want nobody else to get a piece of the pie. Only him.
And see, he don't really pay attention, so you can grift under his nose, but they got a little too greedy, and so that's what happened there in my book, in my opinion.
Right.
Let's go back to Virginia and discuss the implications of the Virginia win, but we're going to use some normal CNN MAGA pundits.
Oh God.
Who are going to try to tell us something different.
Breaking news tonight, CNN can now
let me see, let me remove her.
They're going to try to flip the script.
Virginia voters have approved a Democratic plan to dramatically redraw the state's congressional map. 92% of the results are in, with just over 51% voting yes on the ballot measure. Now, if this map is enacted, it means Democrats could win 10 out of the state's 11 congressional districts, which would boost the party at large in the fight for control of Congress. Harrington is here to join us. And Harry, obviously, there were a lot of questions of how this would go tonight. Tell us what we're seeing in these numbers so far.
Yeah, I would just say, look, the yes side won. Yes, they are probably going to end up lower than the percentage that Kamala Harris won in terms of the margin. But you know what? A win is a win is a win. And this means a lot for Virginia. And I will just note, Just look at this. They have basically going to gerrymander this state rotten. They are basically going to lock Republicans out of power in a state where Donald Trump got 46% of the vote back in 2024. House seats Republicans in Virginia are only going to really end up with 9%. That is quite the imbalance that's going on here, right? Of course, this is part of a larger national picture as well in terms of redistricting. And this, to me, is what is so interesting, right? We've had all this redistricting, right? It started in Texas. Then it was California. We've done Ohio. We've done North Carolina. We've done Utah. But heading into tonight, pre-Virginia results, the net gain from this mid-decade redistricting was really 0 seats, neither side gaining. But now is where we are right now with the Virginia measure passing. Democrats jump out ahead. They are the ones leading in mid-decade redistricting, leading right now by 4 seats on the strength of that yes vote, however thin that margin actually is.
So, Harry, I mean, obviously, Senator Warren was just talking about 6 months from now, the midterm elections. What could this mean for the fight for who controls Congress here?
Yeah, I mean, if you know anything about the House of Representatives, and you're down in Washington, D.C., so you know a heck of a lot more than I do, I would just say this. The power right now, it's so tight, right? Every vote is so tight in the U.S. House of Representatives. So you just take a look here, and this gives you the math of why this vote was so important. If you talk about the margin of the GOP majority in the House post the 2024 election, it was 2 seats, 2 seats. That's how many seats they could lose on a vote before losing the majority. Now, all of a sudden, we're talking about Democrats gaining 1, 2, 3, 4 seats, 4 seats in Virginia. The simple math here is 4 is greater than 2. Without Democrats needing to pick up any more seats, this would eliminate the Republican majority and instill a Democratic majority because the margins are so tight. This vote in Virginia means so very much, and that's why all that money was spent on it. My goodness gracious.
Yeah, a ton of money. Harry, thank you for doing that math for us.
I know, it's very hard, very hard.
This is why we keep you around.
That's right.
Harry Ensign, thank you for that. For more on this, my political sources are here tonight. Jermichael, what's your assessment of what's happening?
I mean, look, I'm not happy about this. What we're seeing is a gradual destruction of incentives in our country. So what happens when you create an atmosphere and an environment where compromise no longer exists?
I mean, you should have been asking that question when Donald Trump was saying, I need 5 seats out of Texas.
That part.
Yeah, maybe this is good for Democrats today, but is it good for the long run? Probably not. For 4 years, there was an argument from my friends on the other side about democracy falling in darkness. Well, how in the hell is this preserving democracy? And look, I'm not saying that one side over the other doesn't gerrymander. Hell, they all gerrymander. It's just not a good thing at all. The American people don't benefit from this. And as someone who resides in Virginia, where you have, 40+% of the state that voted for the previous, for the current president, rather, leaving only one Republican congressional seat seems to be in force of democracy and protecting the Constitution and the preservation of these great ideals. I would think not.
I mean, what do you say to that? Because
Arkansas and Mississippi, they're doing the same thing in the South. So I need you to look at their map, and in Oklahoma, look at all of their maps, and also Florida getting ready to do the same thing.
Exactly.
So I want to see if you're going to have those same talking points for the South as you have as for Virginia.
Mm-hmm. Only because he's losing.
Huh?
Only because he's losing.
Yeah, and he act like, I wonder, was he going to try to run for Congress or something? Because he's highly upset about this.
Child.
I don't think he was this upset when Greg Abbott won those 5 seats in Texas.
No.
Yeah. MAGA was not upset. They were gloating. They were happy. And they was just so for sure that they were going to win. And the good thing about this is it can't even be overturned because it's already California has already went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, nope, can't overturn it because that's what the voters want. So they can take this to the Supreme Court if they want, but they're going to lose based on the precedent set by California.
Yep.
A question we asked a lot of Democrats once they launched their own redistricting efforts after we saw what happened in Texas. But a lot of them argued to us was, well, if the Republicans are doing it, we're also going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, the real problem here is that Republicans launched a mid-decade redistricting project in Texas. Virginia came up with its results, but Florida is likely to redistrict in the next couple of days. In fact, they held off for the vote, I think, for political reasons, but they are likely to redistrict. So at the end of the day, I think Democrats and Republicans will roughly match out to be equal. We don't know what Florida will do. I think maybe they'll be concerned that redistricting could end up, they could end up losing some of those seats because there could be such a great wave. But I think the truth is that Democrats have supported a nationwide ban on partisan gerrymandering. Republicans have opposed that. This was a part of legislation they tried to pass in the last cycle. Republicans have opposed that. I believe that we should have a nationwide ban on partisan gerrymandering. The real thing that set this all off was Donald Trump called into Texas and asked them, not by anyone voting, but just asked the legislature to change. And in California and Virginia, at least they asked the voters to weigh in. This is very different than what happened in Texas. Voters have said they would like to move forward on this because they recognize the stakes with Trump ending accountability through gerrymandering mid-decade.
Scott, what's your take?
Virginia literally had the fairest maps in the nation. They had a 6-5 map, 6 Democrats, 5 Republicans. In terms of proportional representation, they had the fairest map in the nation that was drawn, by the way, by an independent commission that the voters asked for just a few years ago. Now they will have the least fair maps in the nation. And I'm not surprised that the yes vote won. They had all the money and all the lies. And sometimes in politics, when you got those two things, you can put something over the line, even something as egregious as this. This whole thing has driven Spanberger's approval ratings down into the toilet. She lied to the people of Virginia. They had to write a ballot question that was a joke. They drew maps that were a joke. Now you're going to have huge chunks of rural Virginia represented by 5 or 6.
Man, shut your dumb ass up.
Just like you got huge chunks of Texas represented by Republicans.
Because you ain't say nothing when Texas was gerrymandered the fuck up.
And it's the same thing with Texas. You got huge blocks of Democrats being represented by Republicans. So shut the hell up. Take your loss. You been outfoxed, and it is what it is.
Somebody get this little baby a bottle.
Yeah,
Democrats who all.
Yeah, and a little binky.
All live in Northern Virginia within about 15 miles of each other. It's a complete joke. Everybody knows it. And there's a reason that all these national Democrats and all their money came into Virginia because, they don't really care about the people of Virginia. They just care about power.
I mean if we could just put that new map back, Nira, I want you to respond to that. But if we could just put that new map back up, that's back up that you can see, obviously, what the proposed districts that were on this ballot look like.
I mean, here's the thing. Unlike in Texas and other states, in Texas and Florida, they are not putting this up to the voters, right? Republicans, I don't know, they have a lot of money in their coffers. As far as I can see, the RNC has a lot more money than Democrats.
Who spent
a
more?
lot of them?
But you know what the difference is?
They may not have spent more because you're going to lose. Because the actual issue is, here's what motivated people in Virginia. The fact is that because Donald Trump decided to do a mid-decade redistrict in Texas, people believed that in order to level the playing field, you needed to ensure that Virginia acted.
But you know what the difference is?
Ridiculous is
what's
the one thing. Just to say, no.
With Texas,
neither one of you said a word about Texas.
That's not true. I actually talked a lot about Texas,
where was Scott
and I wasn't happy about that. But let me just say this: the difference is Democrats have a number of seats still in the state of Texas. Now we can disagree on whether this made sense morally, ethically. That's a fair point. But in Virginia, you're eliminating all but one.
He don't even want to look over at her no more.
All but one. That's basic math. How's that at all fair? How's that fair?
You didn't put Texas.
How's that fair?
You didn't put it up to a ballot proposition.
The question is, but how is it fair in Virginia?
The legislature,
Republicans with one. Would you be okay if we left Democrats with one congressional seat?
You know what I would be okay with? I would be okay with a ban on partisan gerrymandering across the country. And I wish you guys had supported that.
When the president, so clearly wanted this to happen in Texas, that it did set off this kind of arms race.
Of course it is.
And now it's resulted in this.
That's my initial point. This is not good for the country. Like, I'm a conservative. Hell yes, I want my side to do well. I strongly believe in my principles, and I presume Nira here cares a lot about her side, and she wants to see Democrats do well. But how in the hell is this good for democracy when both sides believe there is no interest in incentivizing on anything? We don't have to compromise. We don't have to figure it out. We don't have to work things out because you know what? We'll have one red state, one blue state. There will be no purple states. There will be no party in the middle. How does that move things forward when you look at the things that this country is?
All they doing is responding to y'all gerrymandering.
Right.
You do a state, they do a state. It's
unfortunately, we won more seats than y'all won.
That's
We
it.
outfox the fox, and that's basically what it is. They got their ass beat, and they don't like it.
Yeah, yeah. If this was a
See, people don't
championship,
like it when you hand their ass to them, and on a silver platter. They don't like that kind of stuff.
yeah, if this
And
was a
so,
championship tournament, y'all
mhm,
would be on the bottom.
right.
So I mean, it is what it is, y'all. But this is y'all 22 dimensional chess shit that y'all be playing, and all that.
But apparently, some Republicans voted for this because Virginia was a Republican state. So how
That's
the
why
hell
I
did this
say it's not
pass?
about the Republicans or Democrats. It's actually about just the people tired of the Republicans.
Right. Because how did it pass if they had if it was already equal, right? It was already down the middle. So
Right.
that meant that the Republicans should have
They had
won
to have some Republicans who
to vote
switched
for
their
this.
vote. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That some Republicans voted for this. So don't get mad at the game. Don't get mad at the player, get mad at the game, and don't start shit that you can't finish.
And
And that's
y'all the ones
basically
that
what it
make
is.
exactly. Y'all started the game.
Yeah.
We just finishing it.
Right.
Currently struggling with. On the
Shout
economic
out
front,
to,
the education front,
Virginia.
healthcare. You have China, our greatest
Right.
adversary, that are moving leaps and bounds ahead, and we can't even govern ourselves appropriately. This should make any person in this country happy about where we are.
I agree. I just think the way to have dealt with this is to have a ban on gerrymandering in any of these states. Mid-decade redistricting is really something has really happened very rarely. North Carolina did a few years ago, but we should really most people are
New York,
used to decennial. Most states are used to it, like doing it every decade. We should do it, and we should actually abandon all this. And I wish Republicans had joined the Democrats.
Scott, if you were a
had
member of Congress, would you vote to ban gerrymandering?
Well, I actually am rather protective of the states making these decisions.
That's
I don't,
a no.
I don't
That's
have.
a no.
I don't really have a problem with states making decisions about this. What I have a problem with in this case, look, Texas did what they did. They had a right to do it. Virginia did what they did. What I have a problem with in Virginia is
So what do you
you had a fair
Virginia didn't
map,
have a right to
and
do
you
it.
also had an independent commission draw it, and you also had the new governor, tell the people of Virginia during her campaign she wasn't going to do it. So this whole thing was built on lies. And the ballot question, if you read it,
People are
was a
the
total
ones
joke.
who
You showed the
voted
map of the
for it.
districts. They're a complete joke. And so I think what they've done
Voters
is
voted for
they've basically disenfranchised
It's like against
90% of the
democracy.
state.
It's against democracy to argue
I
that you're
live in
against the
Virginia.
voters.
I'm a Republican
exactly.
voter in Virginia. I would never do this to Democrats. I don't agree with Democrats on a whole lot of issues.
You would have if this
Yes,
would have
you
went
would.
in their favor. You would have did it to them on on here. So what are you talking about?
And let's talk about the lies. It was so many lies that Peter Thiel made a commercial using Obama, trying to trick the voters to tell them to vote no on this referendum, actually using Obama's picture and trying to use Obama in an ad.
Right.
And so y'all were the one that's lying, and your lie just didn't come. Your lie, nobody believed the lie that Peter
No
Thiel
one sold
tried
into
to
the
pull.
no one bought into that lie that y'all was trying
Yeah.
to sell.
They didn't buy into the bull crap, and so now they all mad. And you heard Scott, it was right when Texas did it. Now that Virginia doing it, you didn't say it was right that Virginia is doing it. You just said it was a right for Texas to do it. So get
Right.
the hell out of here with that propaganda.
Well, speaking of Scott Jennings, we can go ahead and bring this down because it's pretty much at the end. But speaking of Scott Jennings, there's
What
been
else
a
Scotty boy done
report.
doing?
Child, we got to get the tea because y'all, they said that Scott Jennings may be, I'm trying to think of a good name.
LGBTQ.
Sarah Jennings. Or yeah, part of the LGBTQ.
He's rainbow.
Okay, let's look.
Oh my gosh.
Y'all got y'all teacups?
Uh-huh.
Grab your teacups. I got some tea.
Okay.
Let's sip.
Leave it to Tabitha to get the story, baby.
Okay, y'all make sure y'all go follow the real Tabitha.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Before we get into it, I want to give a huge shout out to my old faithfuls. Thank you so much for all of the support that you have provided to me and my channel over the years. I also want to give a huge shout out to my channel members. Thank you so much for the additional support that you provide to me and my channel. I really appreciate it. I also want to give a huge welcome to the newbies to the channel. Thank you so much for
All right, girl. Come on
clicking
now.
that
Let's get into the
subscribe
damn
button.
drama. We
And
should have
if you've
started.
come across this video and are not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and click that subscribe
do her
button.
little.
I'd be happy to have you. Baby,
Let her
the
do her
tea is
PSA.
piping hot. Y'all know Scott Jennings, one of those debaters that frequently shows up on Abby Phillips' show on CNN. If you don't know him, here's a little snippet of Scott Jennings and what he brings to Abby Phillips' show.
But you would admit Iran is in a much weaker position today. I mean, we've bombed 13,000 military targets, and we've taken away last night. You know, their underground missile stores in Isfahan. I mean, we control the skies. We're refueling B-52s over their airspace. They're in a much weaker position. So when it comes to talking, whether they're reasonable or accessible or whatever, I know this. They got really nothing to shoot back at us with right now, and that's a weak position.
So why is the Strait of Hormuz closed?
Exactly.
Right.
Hello.
That's the case. Yeah, I mean
That's Scott Jennings, always stepping on his tongue, always being shut down, but he has to do it in support of Donald Trump and the Trump administration. And many of us look at Scott Jennings, Lindsey Graham, and so many of the other sycophants for Donald Trump, and we ask the question, what does Donald Trump have on you? We all pretty much have gathered that these people are being blackmailed in some way, shape, or form, or they're being paid an enormous amount of money. We've all come to this determination, right? Well, baby, in the case of Scott Jennings, it's looking like it's blackmail. Now, I'm over there on Threads, scrolling, minding my own business, seeing what type of news popped off in the middle of the night, and I immediately come across this. This was the first post that was shared that I came across when I logged into Threads this morning. It was posted by somebody else, and I was like, oh, let me go on over here to these Twitter streets and stop by Chef Joe Guerra Avenue to see what it is that he's talking about when it comes to Scott Jennings. So what had happened was Senator Chris Murphy put out a post, and he was resharing a post, and he captioned that post with awesome. Child, I'm not even going into what Chris Murphy said because this ain't about Chris Murphy. Well, Scott Jennings took Chris Murphy's post and retweeted it and added the caption, "Year of our Lord 2026, Democrat U.S. Senator openly rooting for Iran to defeat the U.S. in battle. Every Dem on the Hill ought to be hounded today by every reporter to answer for this lunatic." Now, he's talking about Senator Chris Murphy. And then Chef Joe Guerra enters the chat and says he retweets Scott Jennings' tweet and says, "Hi, Scott. You may not remember me from my Broadway performing days in NYC, but you're being a complete lying asshole. So here it is. Scott Jennings swings both ways. Not that I care. Who gives a shit? But he's lied about this since 2009, and there are at least 100 photos of him at Fire Island bars from back in the day." Then Chef Joe Guerra tags Adam Mockler because Adam Mockler always ends up, he's a frequent visitor on Abby Phillips' show, Adam Mockler, Gen Zer. And he and Scott Jennings often end up in battle debating on Abby Phillips' show. So Chef Joe Guerra tags Adam Mockler and says, ask him about this on CNN next time. I was like, oop,
Oop.
Yeah, Adam.
There it is.
Ask Scott Jennings about this the next time you are on the show debating him. Now, Adam Mockler, for as young as he is a professional. He goes on that show to do what he's supposed to do, which is to shut down Scott Jennings. And Adam Mockler is good at doing it. But Chef Joe Guerra wasn't finished with that post. He's got an entire thread of things that he wants to say about Scott Jennings and what he knows about Scott Jennings. So he goes on to say, Scott Jennings is a liar. He was a liberal Republican and hitched his wagon to his orange master because Trump blackmailed him and there's money there. If you want to know how Trump gets away with shit, just ask anyone who performed in the arts between 2002 and 2010 in NYC. He blackmails everyone. Good news, Scott. Now it's out there, so you can be honest. He goes on to say, remember when you sued to go to Jack Rose Steakhouse and drink 6 martinis every night and hit on the waitstaff? I don't know what Jack Rose Steakhouse is. I don't know if it's a spot where members of the LGBTQIA plus community frequent. I'm guessing that's the case, being that Chef Joe brought this into his thread. He goes on to say in another post, remember when you stumbled out of Trailer Park at 4 a.m. with a guy named Richie? And he put in parentheses, not his real name, and kissed him for 30 minutes at karaoke night? Chef Joe goes on to say, remember when you hung out at the Playwright and tried to take home dancers? Oh, then there was
Not
you. Okay, wait, let me start over. Oh, then was your extensive hanging out at Pravda on Houston. Remember those frosted glass bathrooms? Yes, everybody else does too. I want to let you know that threatening Chris Murphy, a genuinely good person, has pissed off a lot of people who are going to blow up your spot. Take it down. Apologize. Chef Joe says, let's see if I get served with a cease and desist. Bring it, but I'm not your biggest problem. I'm just the messenger. Chef Joe goes on to say, I'd like to point out that I never have or never would out someone unless they threaten death to someone else for no reason, like Scott has. And in normal circles, it doesn't matter. But he's allowed himself to be blackmailed by the worst person on earth because he doesn't want to own his past. And it's against the fearful religion of the bigots who he's appealing to. It would be one thing if he was an honest broker. I wouldn't say shit, but he's not. Chef Joe goes on to say another fun fact for those people who I know that will reject this. I went on 6 dates with Ivanka Trump when I got to NYC from London. She thought I was hot in the show. I was in at the time, and I waited backstage for me. I was broken up from my significant other at the time before her and I got back together. Yes, I've met the orange asshole. Told her her dad was a piece of shit and didn't want to see her anymore. So bring it. Chef Joe finishes his thread with, let's see what else. Being one of the few straight guys in professional musical theater has given me a lot of access to places that people don't typically have insight to. I fiercely protect my LGBTQ plus brothers and sisters and simultaneously am able to sit in locker rooms and go to perform at parties where total fucking shitbags say the worst possible things. Oh, nope, he's got a couple of more things to say. Chef Joe says, people didn't start getting cautious around me until 2017 in these settings. And even now, they're reckless. Again, I'm usually very tight-lipped. I don't say shit. But when people threaten death, I'm sorry, that courtesy goes out the window. And he ends it with, I'm open to any questions.
Wow.
And that commenter posts that meme of Wendy Williams being shocked as all get out. So, according to Chef Joe, allegedly Scott Jennings is being blackmailed by Donald Trump and being paid to do what it is that he is doing. Now, many of us already knew that, but the tea that is being spilt with this realization, basically a confirmation, but still allegedly. Scott Jennings was leaving the trailer park, and as he was leaving the trailer park, he was tongue dueling with another man for 30 minutes. And he frequented spots so that he could possibly hook up with other men because he's bisexual. In this day and age, how sad and miserable these people are because they cannot live life as their true selves. That's why they seem so angry and bitter towards people on the left, because people on the left who are members of the LGBTQIA plus community are living free. But listen, Chef Joe had more to say. I went scrolling. Y'all know I be down there. When I see stuff like this, I want to get down in the comments because 9 times out of 10, there's more information down in the comments. And as I'm perusing over there on Chef Joe's page, Chef Joe went in on Jank of the Young Turks, baby. Refill your teacups, grab you a couple of more snacks. Let's read what Chef Joe had to say about Jank.
Baby, Chef Joe is telling on everybody, is he not?
He said everybody can get it.
Anybody can
No
get
discrimination. Okay.
And he said he been in places where other people can't go, so he get to see it all, get to hear it all. But I did notice, Scott used to be in Congress, right? And he didn't. I can't remember if he had a mustache before, but I want to say he did have a mustache before. But then all of a sudden, he started going real clean faced, and I just thought he was just trying to look younger for TV. I didn't know it was a signal for something else. Which I don't care who Scott Jennings sleep with, but like Tabitha say, this is 2026. You can be anybody you want to be. It's not a big deal if that's the way you want to sway. Nobody cares. But to try to keep it undercover, and not come out with it like Lindsey Graham, just be who you are. Nobody cares.
Well,
people still elect you whether you sleep with a man or a woman. They don't care. They care about the policies. They don't care about who you go to bed with.
Apparently, MAGA, all of them like to do some, taboo behind and if you would just live in your truth, you couldn't be blackmailed. That's the sad part about it. You would be able to be a free thinking person. You wouldn't have to come on live TV and in the public and publicly humiliate yourself every time you open your mouth. Brown nosing, the orange agent. So, but child, nothing surprises me nowadays when it comes to MAGA. These are some depraved people that have low IQs and high taboos
and hypocritical. Don't leave that out.
Oh yeah, very hypocritical. Everything that they tell you that you shouldn't do, what you just might as well just take that as this is what I'm doing. Because this is what all the stuff that they don't want you to do is the stuff that they get caught doing.
Right.
They don't want you to be homosexual, but that's what they are behind closed doors. You know,
They
stuff
play
like
like
that.
they don't like pedos, but they going 100% for one.
Yeah, but they protect them like they life depended on it.
Right.
So
Right. Because they need a video of him actually doing it. Even though he's been convicted, 34 times of fraud and of abusing Eugene Carroll. It's civil, so they don't believe that either because it's civil. And
yeah,
sometimes you have to. Wasn't Cassie's case civil with Didi?
yeah,
Her case
yeah,
wasn't criminal; it was civil. But everybody believed her, and everybody was riding for her. But when it comes to the Orange Buffoon, you know,
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
different
Nobody
story. Yeah.
exactly.
So, because sometimes the statute of limitations run out, and you can't do anything but civil. And so when you win in a civil court of law, you still winning, and you're gonna
Right.
get some coins behind it. So hell out of here with all of that. So you want to hear about Jake the Sinks?
Oh yeah, we can listen to the Jake from
TYT,
yeah.
the Young Turks guys. This is the Young Turks. So, and I want to say this about Scott too. Scott didn't used to be like this. He used to have an opinion about things, and now you could tell he doesn't. It's all he's just riding with Trump no matter what. Now he when he was running for Congress, he had an open mind, and he was trying to be. He was really a conservative that was in the middle.
Hmm.
He was tried to be partial and impartial, and he tried to look at both sides of issues when he was running for Congress. Then all of a sudden, I guess Trump found out, about his secret. So all of a sudden, he just go hard for Trump no matter what Trump does. He put himself in a pretzel to try to make it right. And
Yeah, it's public humiliation ritual is what I call it. Because I mean, why would you say? I mean, to me, he says the most outlandish, crazy things looking at the camera because he knows that it's going to give, the shock value that his master in chief is looking for. Um, Shout out to Susie for the super chat of 1999. We truly, truly appreciate that. Susie Mills.
AKA Sassy Sue. Thank you, Sassy Sue.
Thank you, Sassy Sue. We appreciate you. Let me give you some applause. All right, well, let's go ahead and see what.
So I guess Susie enjoying this tea too.
Right, Susie. Yeah, you want to see Jinx? Let's see what Jinx got going on. Oops. What does that mean?
But listen, Chef Joe had more to say. I went scrolling. Y'all know I be down there. When I see stuff like this, I want to get down in the comments because 9 times out of 10, there's more information down in the comments. And as I'm perusing over there on Chef Joe's page, Chef Joe went in on Jank of the Young Turks, baby. Refill your teacups, grab you a couple of more snacks. Let's read what Chef Joe had to say about Jank. Now, this is the first post that I saw from Chef Joe, and it was in regards to some polling stats. What caught my eye was the post he was retweeting had Hassan Piker's name in it. So, I had to stop. Skirt! I had to back up. And I wanted to see what that post said about Hassan Piker. And so USA Polling or Polling USA Today put this post out and said, do you have a favorable or unfavorable view of Hassan Piker? My view of Hassan Piker is unfavorable. He's a racist. I've shared several videos of him doing his streaming being racist as fuck towards black people, Vietnamese people, being ageist, being misogynist. He's a horrible human being. And so the stats that Polling USA is saying in regards to that question, there's 7% of people who took this poll view Hassan Piker as favorable. 15% view Hassan Piker as unfavorable. 79% say they never heard of Hassan Piker. Which tells me the Democrats are doing just fine without the views and opinions or trying to make nice with the likes of a Hassan Piker. And so that was my thought. And Chef Joe was thinking the same way. Let's go back to that original post that he made. In retweeting those stats, Chef Joe added the caption, "Oh my God, this is amazing. Now please stop giving this person the time of day." I agree. I'm sick of these people trying to force Hassan Piker down our throats. Hassan Piker will never be accepted by black people because we've seen his racism. A lot of y'all like to bring up the fact that he abused his dog with that shock collar. I saw that video. Yeah, and the lady with the schoolgirl crush on Hassan Piker, she rushed to defend that shit. Yeah, I'm talking about Jen over there on I've Had It podcast. She didn't believe that he was abusing his dog. She said it in a video, even when people were sending her the proof of him shocking that dog with that shock collar. Schoolgirl crushes can be real intense. I remember those days. Anywho, it doesn't end there. This thread started with Hassan Piker, but Chef Joe went on out there and threw Jank under the bus.
Okay,
Jank's over there on Twitter defending Tucker Carlson because, you know, he's on this crusade of having a beer to talk out the political differences. He wants to be able to talk out political differences and have a beer with Nazis and white supremacists. So yesterday I did a video and I told y'all about Tucker Carlson taking accountability and apologizing for misleading people into voting for Donald Trump. And I told y'all, don't believe that shit. Tucker Carlson has always known who Donald Trump was. Y'all could go back and watch that video. I'll tag it some way, somehow, okay? And so Jank jumps up on his high Twitter horse and says, everyone rejecting at Tucker Carlson's apology for backing Trump. What the fuck else do you want? We don't want nothing. Black people don't want nothing from Tucker Carlson. We don't want nothing. And we're not going to accept his apology, willy-nilly. We're not going to do it. Because at this point, in this juncture, in 2026, once a Nazi, once a racist, always a Nazi, always a racist. There has to be some serious work put in to prove that you have changed.
I think, though, you know, when we talk about accepting Tucker Carlson's apology and all this other stuff, look, at the end of the day, whoever decides that they don't want to support Donald Trump anymore, I am going to support them. Because I think when you try to say something is like, this isn't happening in a vacuum to only black people, you know what I mean? This is happening to everybody, and we need everybody to be on board with shifting, you know, the reality that we're currently experiencing. And so if Tucker Carlson wants to come out and apologize, I'm gonna say, okay, well, yeah, that's fine. You know, you ain't gotta apologize. We good for right now. Just, you know, continue promoting that Donald Trump is a piece of shit, and we're fine. After he's out of office, then you can address all the little petty shit. But I think right now, with the situation being what it is, I think that, you know, trying to down talk people that's trying to come out against Trump is just not the right move.
I'm with Renee. The hell with Tucker Carlson. He knew what he was voting for. He knew who Trump was. He pushed this propaganda. He helped push him in the White House.
So
And
what would you say?
I say give me some more time, and I'll accept his apology. And he's not really condemning Trump like he's supposed to, in my opinion. He's just saying the mistake that he made, but he's not really condemning Trump. And I also say who's paying him now? Who's paying him to say what he's saying now? Because it's all about the Benjamins. I'm not buying it because initially APAC probably was paying him, or Russia was paying him, because remember he ran his ass over there with Putin. So Putin must have dropped him, and now somebody else probably, allegedly Peter Thiel or somebody like that. Somebody is paying his ass to go against Trump. It could be the Democrats. I don't know who's paying him. But for him to flip the script the way that he's flipping the script, and also his son quit too. His son was working for J.D. Vance, and his son's seen a lot that he don't agree with. And it could be because he have his son who is a millennial. A lot of the millennials are not going to, they're not on board with all of this dictatorship, right? So he may have talked Tucker into changing his mind. I don't know, but it feels like somebody is paying Tucker, in my opinion. And Tucker really don't move unless some Benjamins are involved. So
I think that goes for me. I think that goes without saying. He's a content creator. They're all full of shit. They go with where the money, where the most.
I'm not buying it until he really.
However.
But
what would be the alternative?
Until he do some real condemning of Trump, I'm not buying it. I feel like somebody is paying him.
I think that that's probably the most plausible explanation that he's getting paid. But I also think that what would be the alternative? Him continuing to promote Trump. So in that lens, I think that I'm okay with him going against Trump and saying whatever he needs to say. He's not like somebody who I rely on as the person that my source of news and information. So I don't.
Yeah, but he got a big following. He may not be your person, but he's a lot of other people persons. And I understand what you're saying, but I'm not buying it for right now. I'm not ready to forgive him for right now. Hey, Anna Suma, thank you for coming in tonight. But at the end of the day, we'll go ahead and accept him, but we'll accept him when it's time for the new election in 20. I may start forgiving him in.
But we can do a Trump. We just accept him while we can use him. And
okay,
well,
we
have.
we can go that route now.
When we have Trump in office, just we don't have no use for you anymore. Take your ass back over there.
If you want to go that route, then fine. He could be an idiot for us. But I'm never forgiving MAGA for putting Trump in office and causing all of this pain and harm.
Not one person who ever promoted him publicly. Hell no.
I'm not forgiving them for putting us in this position that we're in, because look at what we're in. America's almost totally broke.
Right.
All of these people done lost their jobs and shit. And we think that a lot of people lost their jobs. We're up to about 650,000 black women that has lost their jobs. So screw Tucker. Okay. And
like I say, we could just Trump them.
But in June, when that big ugly bill come out, it's some more jobs going to be eliminated. And it ain't going to just hit the black women. It's going to hit all women and all men. It's going to hit everybody when this big ugly bill come out. You watch and see. And if they pass this budget, this $1.4 trillion budget, it's going to put a lot of pain and hurt on the American public. And y'all think y'all suffering now? We think we're suffering now. We really going to suffer if they pass this budget. Thanks to the good old boy system with the Republicans, every
time the Republicans in office, this is what happens.
Yeah, they always bankrupt the country, and then they take a Democrat to come and fix the country. Yep. And then they want to sit around and talk shit about Democrats, who are the smartest people that's ever been in office, created all other jobs, and Republicans don't create no jobs. They take jobs, and
they don't even
bring them back.
They don't even. This is the crazy thing. Donald Trump has amassed his wealth not from like Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg offering a service or offering something tangible that people can actually use. He has amassed his wealth through corruption, through channels of corruption, from that meme coin that he created. All his real estate deals are always corrupt. That's the reason why he had to file for bankruptcy 7 times. This man, he knows nothing about actually being a legitimate business person. And everybody who is around him, they are using the government as the biggest welfare system for them, because guess what? They get government contracts. They get the money without even having to do the work. And then they do some subpar.
Meanwhile, the kids is starving at the schoolhouse. They can't even get a damn free lunch. Poor kids can't even get a meal at the house because you cut everybody food stamps. People being sick, they can't go to the hospitals. Some of the damn hospitals, especially in the rural areas, are being closed down altogether. So some people, if they get sick, they have 45 minutes to an hour to drive to a hospital because of Trump and his policies closing down all these, shutting down healthcare, not funding Obamacare. So now a lot of these, hospitals having to close up. And guess what? Grandma getting ready to come to y'all house also, because a lot of these nursing homes going to be closing up also if they keep cutting Medicaid, because the states are not going to be able to sustain it.
Yep, and then also Kristi Noem, I mean, she got a $220 million contract for a subpar commercial, and we have problems like what you just talked about, the rural hospitals.
And don't forget about that plane that she purchased. What was it, $300 million for a plane that she purchased?
Yeah.
They just wasting money. They wasting taxpayers' money as if it was their money, spending like a damn drunken sailor or something. Like this is their personal piggy bank for them to just spend however they want instead of trying to take care of the American public. So screw Tucker.
And that you are for all people and not just white people and Christian people. And Tucker Carlson has not done that. Hell, in the video where he apologized, what did they say about Kamala Harris? They called Kamala Harris cackling camel toe. So they're still denigrating, displaying misogynoir, disrespecting a black woman who is the former vice president of the United States. Cenk, we don't want nothing. Period. And so Chef Joe took that tweet, retweeted it, and said, "Hi, my name is Cenk. I took Russian money for my fledgling TV network, who also funded Tucker Carlson." Now, we all know, if you pay attention, and if you've been paying attention to Tucker Carlson and all that he's been doing, it is clear that Tucker Carlson is on the Russian payroll. And Chef Joe is letting the rest of us know that TYT was fledging at one point, and the Russian dollars came in to save the TYT network. We also know that TYT was taking money from Polymarket, which is also tied to Peter Thiel. So he got big money from Peter Thiel, so much so they changed the name of their studios, the studios that they built off of the dollars donated to them by their followers and subscribers. They changed the name from, I forget what it was, but they changed it to Polymarket Studios because they got big dollars from Peter Thiel.
It was called
So
the Young
Cenk,
Turks.
according to Chef Joe, is one, getting money from the Russians, and of course we know they were getting some type of money from Polymarket. But Chef Joe is not done there. He's got more to say. He goes on he got a whole thread. He goes on to say, "Hi, my name is Cenk. I was also friends with Andrew Breitbart and am currently friends with Benny Johnson, who also takes Russian money for his content operations. Y'all know under the Biden administration, the DOJ put out a report that there were some right-wing content creators that were taking Russian dollars.
Okay, so this is just about him taking Russian money or having
Yeah,
foreign
it's
ties.
not basically him selling out because
Oh, okay.
the channel used to be called the Young Turks, and so now I didn't even realize he had changed his name. I used to subscribe to his channel. He used to play like he was for the Democrats, and so now he's for everybody because like Scott, he's compromised. He's being paid.
Yeah, I
And it's
think
a
they
lot
are
of big
being paid
content
though.
creators. It's a lot of big content creators being paid by these different organizations. So,
And
yeah.
they'll never tell us, so I don't trust none of them.
Well, hell, look like we just need to follow Chef Joe. He telling us everything. Chef Joe
Okay.
know about everybody and everything. Seems like, in my opinion,
And
he
the way
calling
he's
all of them
saying
out.
it, he said he dare you to file defamation. So
Yeah, he says he waiting on his cease
he's
and desist
standing on
letter.
what he's saying. Yeah.
Okay, standing on his business, baby.
I don't
But
know.
yeah,
Did we play Donald Trump actually reciting the Bible verses?
no, we need to go ahead and play that. So,
Yes,
guys,
because
everybody need to apologize to Agent Orange. He wants to show us that he really is a Christian.
right.
Everybody that doubted his Christianity, he's gonna he's gonna
He's
show y'all that he can, he does read the Bible. So he's reading from Chronicle 2 instead of Second Chronicle because he called Corinthians 2 Corinthians. So he's reading Chronicle 2 in his mind. Okay. And so we got a little snippet of him being a Christian.
And finish the
And
house
let
of
me
the
know if y'all
Lord and the
believe him.
king's house, and all that came into Solomon's heart to make in the house of the Lord, and in his own house he prosperously effected. And the Lord appeared to Solomon by night and said to him, I have heard your prayer and have chosen this place to myself for a house of sacrifice. If I shut up heaven, that there be no rain, or if I command the locusts to devour the land, or if I send pestilence among my people, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. Now my eyes shall be open and my ears attent to the prayer that is made in this.
I gotta stop, guys. I've never heard anybody read the Bible like it's a State of the Union speech, because that's what it sounds like to me. What it sound like to you?
Yeah. I mean, and this not even his best reading. This is just like it sounds like he doesn't even know what he's saying.
I wonder is it AI?
Look at his
I wonder is AI reading for him.
Look at his face. He looks
Yeah.
like he's clueless as to what the words that are coming out of his mouth. Like he's just reading the shit, but he doesn't really know what he's saying.
We'll give him an A for effort. Okay.
Place. For now I have chosen and sanctified this house, that my name may be there forever, and my eyes and my heart shall be there perpetually. And as for you, if you will walk before me, as David your father walked, and do according to all that I have commanded you, and shall observe my statutes and my judgments, then will I establish the throne of my kingdom according to as I have covenanted with David your father, saying, there shall not fail you as a man to be ruler in Israel. But if you turn away and forsake my statutes and my commandments, which I have set before you, and shall go and serve other gods and worship them, then will I pluck them up from the roots out of my land which I have given them, And this house, which I have sanctified for my name, will I cast out of my sight, and will make it to be a proverb and a byword among nations. And this house, which is high, shall be an astonishment to every one that passes by it, so that he shall say, why has the Lord done thus to this land and to this house? And it shall be answered, because they forsook the Lord God of their fathers, which brought them forth out of the land of Egypt, and laid hold on other gods, and worshiped them and served them. Therefore has he brought all this evil upon them.
But we are going to protect Christianity. And if you look what's going on throughout the world, you look at Syria, where if you're Christian, they're chopping off heads. You look at the different places, and Christianity, it's under siege. I'm a Protestant. I'm very proud of it, Presbyterian to be exact, but I'm very proud of it, very, very proud of it. And we've got to protect, because bad things are happening. Very bad things are happening.
The Pope isn't being told that. The Pope is being told that Donald Trump is not a nice person, okay? Donald Trump is a very nice person, and I am a very nice person. And
Other
I'm a very
people
good
supposed
Christian.
to say that
because
about
the
you.
Pope's-
It's like he's so self-centered. Donald, other people are supposed to say you're a nice person, not you. God. He's like, and I'm a great Christian as well. Probably the best Christian in the room right here.
Listen, I'm still on the fact that he was trying to read these Bible scriptures. I wish somebody would ask him, Mr. President, what do those scriptures mean? That's what I'm waiting on somebody to ask him.
Right.
Explain to us what you just read. What was going on with that story there, sir?
Hell, the way he read that, I almost fell asleep.
I'm over rolling.
Yeah.
said something to the effect that maybe Donald Trump isn't Christian, okay? And he's questioning my faith. I was very surprised to see it, but I am a Christian. I'm proud of it. Okay.
I should have got that video when he told us he wasn't a Christian.
Evangelicals, for the Christians.
That he wasn't going to heaven.
For everybody of religion.
No, he said he wasn't a Christian.
This will be maybe the most important election that our country's ever had. So go out and spread the word. And once I get in, I will do my thing that I do very well. And
Corruption.
I figure it's probably maybe the only way I'm going to get to heaven. So I better do a good job.
Yeah, because he means the only way he's going to be able to experience heaven is it once he's the president. That's the closest he's coming to heaven, and it's going to be here on earth. Because when he's gone, that man is going to the fiery gates for eternity.
Okay? Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much. That's fantastic.
Look, he look evil.
For you, Lord, we present
He look like he
our
got
president.
2 horns pointing
We
up
come
this,
together from
video.
all denominations, all races together, as the Bible says. Fear of this nation. Father, I give you the praise and I give you the honor in Jesus' mighty name.
This is blasphemous. Do you see his face? While everybody else call themselves praising the Lord, do you see this mother? Got this smug look like, yeah. This is what y'all supposed to do. Worship me. He think he God.
Right.
He thinks he's God, and these people are worshiping him.
Now I got it in the other chat here of him saying he's not a Christian while he playing like he a Christian today. You know.
Mm-hmm. Let me
Amen and amen. Evangelicals, Christians of every denomination, and believers of every faith have never had a greater champion not even close, in the White House than you have right now. I think you know that.
Wow.
Is that your Bible? Your Bible?
Yeah, upside down, Bible upside down, but you're a Christian though.
Yeah. The red thing hanging down. That's supposed to be.
This week I'm also creating the White House Faith Office, led by Pastor Paula White, who is so amazing.
And she's so off the chain to it, ain't beautiful.
To confront such.
Trump spoke to Turning Point USA. It was a humiliating and embarrassing speech. We're going to look at a little bit of it. Now, I want to contextualize this for you just a little bit. Donald Trump is now suddenly playing up his Christian credentials. He does it when he speaks to Turning Point USA. It has been announced that tomorrow, Donald Trump will be participating in a public Bible reading. Trump is really playing up his Christian credentials, and this is going to be relevant in a moment. But I want to remind you that Donald Trump previously, when he spoke to Turning Point, acknowledged that he is not a Christian. So just remember, we all suspected Trump wasn't really a Christian. He didn't really find Jesus right when it was time to run for president. Here, I want to call you back to this former Trump speech. Trump acknowledged the truth about his religiosity. Remember this?
And again, Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm not Christian. I love you. Get out. You got it.
I love you, Christians. I'm not Christian. So remember that the entire framing of Donald Trump in general as a Christian is not only not credible or believable to the most superficial observer. Trump has occasionally let slip he's not a Christian. Cool. Let's now go to his speech to Turning Point over the weekend, where Donald Trump said a number of different things, including the number of wars that he ended, which he says soon is going to be 10.
To begin with, I ended 8 wars, and it may be a little early to say this, but if we add Iran and Lebanon, that will be 10 wars ended and many, many millions of lives saved. Think of how many lives we've saved.
Now, a lot of you wrote to me correctly remarking on, look at how diminished Trump's vocabulary is. He's just, all he can say is stuff like, really, really, very, very. He speaks like a 4th grader or a 5th grader, something like that. That's all true. My question is more with regard to foreign policy. If you start a war and then the war ends, do you get credit for starting a war or for ending a war or for both?
Right.
I think that if you start the war, you can't really get credit for ending it. It would sort of be like giving the arsonist credit for putting a fire out. Even if they do put it out, you can't go around going, ladies and gentlemen, I'm each other out. Because you must praise me because I put out 10 fires today. Yeah, but you started all 10 of them. That doesn't really make sense. You're still an arsonist. We still arrest you and charge you with arson. This is the sort of trapeze artistry that Donald Trump wants us to fall for. I'm ending wars all over the place. Now, put aside for a second that Trump is sometimes confused about some of these conflicts. Some of the wars he ended weren't wars. Some of them were made up. It was it Albania and Azerbaijan? Trump says he ended that one, or I don't even remember. None of it made any sense. Donald Trump also confused about what even were the goals of his deportation scheme, because Trump bragged to the Turning Point audience, by the way, an audience that is increasingly skeptical of Donald Trump. Trump bragged to them that now we are seeing reverse migration. More people leaving the U.S. than coming in.
But we've deported a record number of criminal aliens, a record. Nobody's ever seen the numbers like this. And for the first time in more than 50 years, we now have reverse migration. A beautiful thing, actually.
You know, what always gets me about this is that there's a prevailing view in the American right that the United States needs more people in order to become more prosperous. Now, this is not it's not universally accepted economically, but there is a significant scholarship of economics that believes that in order to grow, you need more people. Now, there was a time where, for example, China for a while believed the opposite. The China one-child policy, which has now been done away with, but China's birth rate is still not recovering, at least for now. The China one-child policy was based around the concept that, hey, the country is of a limited size. The fewer people we have, the more there is for each person. Let's become prosperous by limiting families to one child. They realized that that didn't actually work for them. So then they reversed, and they realized our population is going to start declining. We've got to try to reverse this. So the belief from many of these right-wingers is the United States does need more people in order to grow. And here is Trump bragging about more people leaving than coming in. Now, if you ask them, they could say, well, we can still grow through domestic births. But Trump is also trying to challenge birthright citizenship. So it's all a complete and total mishmash. But the point is, Elon Musk and others have been quite influential in right-wing circles at convincing Republicans that we need to increase the birth rate. We need families having more kids. The goal being we need way more people in order to grow as an economy. Even those who don't necessarily subscribe to the have as many kids as possible policy still believe that to grow, the United States needs to bring in 3 times the number of...
No, I mean him, the host. He know that it's not just about, repopulating domestically. It has to do with trying to build up the white race back because they're becoming a minority.
Right.
Legal immigrants than are currently coming in. And then you've got Trump, who claims to be the benefactor of, or not the benefactor, but rather to be the person who is going to generate the economic growth that he campaigned on, is bragging about more people leaving the country than coming in. By most economics belief, not all but most, and certainly by what Republicans believe, his own fellow Republicans, the U.S. needs more people, not fewer people. And Trump is bragging that more people are leaving than coming in. It doesn't make any sense. And then finally...
All right. Real quick before we go into the final one, I just wanted to shout this comment out. It says needs more skilled labor, not more welfare recipients. And I am one who actually agrees with you, Pat Calanta, or Pat K Atlanta, whatever your name is.
Pat Calante.
I agree with this commenter because at the end of the day, look at the people who are the highest recipients of welfare and what they've done to the country. Elon Musk included.
Yeah.
He's the biggest welfare queen in America, in the United States.
Defense contractors.
And they've dismantled and, completely messed up the FBI. Just all the stuff that these welfare queens have done. These AKA Republicans that are getting these government contracts. Look at what they've done to the country.
Right. And the highest recipients on welfare is the South, which is like 26% of the of white people are the ones that's on welfare. It's only 13% for Black people and only 8% for immigrants. So really, yeah, we do need those white people to get up and get a job and get off of welfare. We really do. They're they're riding our system and bringing our system down, bringing America
putting
down,
us in debt.
Putting us in debt
that we ain't been able to afford to get out of.
Yeah.
Those welfare queens, Lord Jesus.
Yeah. They all on TikTok and Instagram crying about it right now as we speak.
They are sucking our nation dry.
Very dry. So they're absolutely right. Yeah, we need to let the South know to get all those people off of welfare because they take more money than anybody. They put less money into the economy. They send less taxes to Washington, D.C., but they're the biggest recipients of all the welfare. So I agree with you too, Pat. I agree with you also.
To cut all government spending on NGOs to include all subsidies, man.
Yeah.
Well,
hey.
Or to make up the most welfare recipients. It's a fact. Yeah, I mean...
Look it up. Look it up.
Those are just the facts.
Y'all look it up. I'm not lying to you. White people are the most recipients of the
We funded,
and they're all in the South. The South is right. I'm telling y'all, the
but
South.
I want us to be very clear. Let's not even, because food stamps and government assistance in that way, like WIC programs and stuff like that, those are very small crumbs in comparison to the welfare that we provide these white people at the top. Elon Musk, why do you think he is the richest man in the world?
He's the biggest welfare queen there is of all time.
Why do you think Donald Trump said he will end him and remove his government contracts? Because we fund the richest man in the world was created off of taxpayer dollars.
Hey, Black P. Exactly. So
we are getting really close, folks, really close to passing a healthcare plan.
We will pass the great healthcare plan. We call it the great healthcare plan to stop all payments to big insurance companies and give the money. What we want to do is this. We want the insurance companies to be cut out. We want our government not to pay trillions of dollars to insurance companies, to pay that same amount of money directly to the people, directly, and you go out and buy your own health care. We will pass
there you go. It's coming very soon. It's just going to be a couple more weeks until Trump's new healthcare plan is made law. We've only been waiting since July of 2020, when Trump said 2 weeks from now, we will have a brand new healthcare law that will replace Obamacare. We've been waiting a long time. Does anyone believe that it's coming soon?
I struggle to afford the medical stuff.
Thanks for watching. Check out this other video. And if you like our content, make sure to subscribe so YouTube.
Y'all go subscribe up to Dave Packman, and thank you for that clip, Dave. But, you know, we know this guy's a liar. We know everything he say is, you know, propaganda. And he'll say anything and do anything to keep the power, to stay out of jail.
And he also told us with his own mouth that he ain't no Christian.
Right. He's not a Christian. He said, Christians, y'all go vote and go vote this last time because you won't have to vote no more, because he thought he was going to be able to rig the election. And it looked like y'all going to have to vote again. Y'all Christians, white Christians.
Look like he lied again, huh?
Lied again, yeah. Everything he said is a lie. I haven't found a truth yet. It's nothing that he said has came true yet. Well, and if it is, please put it in the chat, because I would love to know.
Let us know if we missing something.
That when he was campaigning in 2020, when he was campaigning to be the president, please let me know what it is that he campaigned on that has come true, because I haven't seen nothing yet.
Well, he said he was going to be a dictator on day one.
Okay, well, that's the only thing that's true. He's trying to be a dictator.
He said for one day. He said just for one day.
Okay, just one day. But he didn't even achieve that, I don't think.
Yeah, because he's still trying to be a dictator. It's day.
That's a lie.
Yeah, that was a lie too. So
yeah, so
goddamn.
At the end of the day,
I say the other issue that we have, guys, other than him needing to be in jail, and how the hell we got a criminal running this damn country and put us in a war that our kids and our family members are going to have to fight and lose their lives over just for a criminal in office that is demented, narcissistic, and incapable of actually running his own businesses or his own life, let alone an actual country. But y'all voted for him. That's y'all president, not my president. But since we're talking about this man, and he does have us at war, and this is our fucking reality because of you stupid. I'm sorry.
Come back.
Because he is. Come back with it. He is in office, and since he's here, they're saying that he's threatening nuclear weapons being deployed on Iran. And so now I guess people are wondering, where are the nuclear scientists at?
Yeah.
Well, now they're disappearing.
What?
Yeah. So, we're gonna have to look at and see what's going on here.
But hold on though, before we look, I have to address this. He said he was going to deport what 10 million people. He haven't deported that many people. Now what he did do was get over 1 million people and put them in some concentration camps. Okay, and sent some of them out of the country to a third world country. But he haven't deported.
Concentration camp.
Yeah, he put people in some concentration camps because he's picking people up and putting them in these camps, and he's not deporting them. And so all of these people who think the border, well, at the end of the day,
These people still in the damn country.
these people are still in the country. They're not gone anywhere. Okay, they're in camps that y'all paying for.
Well, let's look at what the nuclear scientists was happening to them.
Yeah, we need to find where Waldo is
in the
because
House are
this don't
calling
make
for
no
more
sense.
information and briefings with top agencies after nearly a dozen scientists died or went missing since 2022. House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer and Chairman Eric Burleson of the Subcommittee on Economic Growth, Energy Policy, and Regulatory Affairs put out a statement. They're calling for information from the Energy Department, the Department of War, the FBI, and NASA, quote, regarding the scientists and other personnel connected to U.S. nuclear secrets or rocket technology who have died or mysteriously vanished in recent years. I do want to bring in Congressman Burleson to discuss much more about all of this here. Congressman, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today.
Good to be on. Thank you.
And first off, I wanted to start by kind of asking you if you can break down why you and Chair Comer came out with this statement here and essentially said you want these investigated.
Yeah, look, I've heard throughout the almost 4 years that I've been here in D.C., I've had reports of strange, events, people go missing, or whether it's from the military intelligence community or otherwise. But when General McCaslin disappeared, that was something that caught everybody's attention. And when you started looking into the details of that and the connections that he had with some of these other people that follow a similar pattern, where they all walked out of their front door, left their keys, left their wallets, left their phones, and have never returned, and just completely gone off the grid. No one knows what's happened to these individuals. That just is not normal. So you had when you look back now, the first person to do that was Anthony Chavez, who was retired from Los Alamos National Labs. He was he was working on nuclear research. He left on his home by foot, abandoning everything. And then later you had Monica Reza, within a month. And this all happened within just about 6 months. Monica was on a hike with some friends and suddenly disappeared from the hike, never to be seen or heard from again. And then you had, within just a few days of her disappearance, Melissa Cassius, who, while she was working as a administrative assistant role, she was still working on and was cleared on some of the most top secret materials. She also went missing. And then you have another individual by the name of Stephen Garcia, who was working for the Kansas City National Labs, but he was working in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So a lot of this happened in New Mexico, which is also a commonality. He was working on non-nuclear parts for nuclear weapons. So someone that was important and obviously read in at our top clearance levels as well. And then, of course, the General William Neal McCaslin, who walked out of his home. So just very strange and coincidental. There have been a lot of other names that have been lumped into this. That there may be a connection, I don't know, but a lot of mysterious deaths have occurred as well.
Are there questions about the potential here for foreign involvement? We've talked a lot about the fact that, these folks were high clearance. They had a lot of information about maybe nuclear situations there. So is there concern that there was some kind of foreign interference here?
Absolutely. It's something that we should be paying attention to. Look.
Do we think it's foreign or domestic?
I don't know, but it's weird, you know, for all of us. And they all have the same type of job, nuclear, you know.
Right,
So,
right.
and some of them just walked out their house, like that Monica lady. They said she just went on a hike.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, somebody's snatching these people up, because no one leave home without their phone and keys, and you know, when you leave home with something.
Yeah.
Some type of credential. If it's
Definitely
nothing
not
but your
your.
driver's license.
You ain't staying home. I mean, today I don't really see people leaving their cell phones. I mean, maybe for a walk, but I mean, I imagine you use your cell phone for music. So I don't know.
The first time in history that a nation has used aggressive actions against the scientists of another nation. I mean, currently today you had conflict. One of Israel's number one objectives was to take out some of the scientists working on a nuclear weapon in Iran. We know that China, for example, today has an operation called Operation Fox Hunt, where they have, you know, their covert operators working in the United States to try to get information out of scientists and to get Chinese scientists to repatriate back to the country of China with the information and the knowledge that they've gained while living in the United States. So this isn't conspiracy theory that governments are involved in foreign activity when it relates to scientists. It's fact. The question is, was there any kind of foreign actor involved in any of these deaths or missing persons?
How quickly do you expect to get a response from some of these agencies? Talking about the FBI, NASA, have you received responses so far? And if not, when do you expect that?
Well, hopefully we get a response soon. I know the president had said that he had asked for this information and was expecting to get some level of briefing within 10 days. Hopefully we'll be included in that briefing. But I know that Chairman Comer doesn't like to sit on things for very long. He usually works pretty quickly, so hopefully we will get a response. And I think the FBI is clearly taking this seriously and looking into these mysterious deaths and missing persons.
All right, well,
and they're not even in the witness protection program, because James Comer, you know, who's the head of the House, you know, he would know that. You know, he could get that information from the CIA or DNI or one of those national intelligence communities. But if Comer is looking for them, so that let us know our government don't have them, unless, I mean, our government could have them and, you know, not say anything to Comer, but they're not in any type of witness protection program, because the FBI would have that information, right? Or the CIA, or
right.
One of those national intelligence communities would know.
I mean, they wouldn't just be going up missing and nobody has any information if they were a part of some type of witness protection program.
Yeah, and I don't know why they would be in, because the only time you're in the witness protection program is when you're going to testify about something, and there's nothing going on with, you know, with nuclear, you know, no trials or questions or hearings or
that we know of,
other than keeping Trump's ass out of them, out of the meeting. But
now,
other than that, you know, it's a weird situation, and I thought it was weird when I saw this clip, and I'm like, where are these people? You know, why do all of them have the same background? And, you know, so to me, it's some type of conspiracy going on here.
Well, he said that it's no longer conspiracy. But well, I guess it is still. I don't know what it is.
Well, that's what he say. Hell, if all the scientists are missing, what you call that?
Well, he said it's real life operations that are being enacted by these other countries to go in and find these scientists.
Yeah.
Well, I also saw that, you know, you did send me another video that reinforced Trump's I guess him not really being Christian, where he was praising Allah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Let's see here.
Unfortunately.
Praises Allah on Easter Sunday after threatening Iran with war crimes. He says, "Open the effing strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Praise be to Allah." Comment below and subscribe for more.
Okay. That was the okay.
Yeah. That was the icing on the cake, of him being a Christian. So that was really supposed to follow up with those other 2 videos with him.
I know, right?
With him reading the word from Chronicles 2.
Right, we're a little out of
pulling the Bible upside down, opening his eyes while Paula White pray for him. All that old kind of shenanigans.
Yeah, this man is out of his mind. Okay,
but that just let you know, dude done sold his soul to the other side, in my opinion. What you think about that?
He definitely not for the Lord right now. This is blasphemous.
Yeah, he's definitely not on the Lord's side at all.
Okay, well, let's talk about, I don't know if we've talked about this one yet, but have we discussed the ceasefire being prolonged?
No.
Or extended? All right, well, let's get into it real quick.
Truce between Iran and the United States is extended indefinitely, at least for now. Still, Iran fired on 3 ships and seized 2 of them today in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran says one of the ships is connected to Israel and was trying to leave the strait without its authorization.
Oh, they got a woman representing them. Okay.
The seizures come just hours after President Donald Trump announced he was extending the ceasefire with Iran in order to give more time for peace talks.
Have a plethora of individuals and institutions in Iran that are part of the decision-making process, starting with the supreme leader, the president, the parliament, and different advisory bodies around those individuals and institutions.
No word yet on when the U.S. delegation could travel for another round of in-person talks after the vice president's travel to Islamabad was put on hold yesterday.
Okay.
Well, all I can say is taco.
Taco.
Yeah,
and it's crazy because.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, he's been moving his goalposts for the last 3 or 4 weeks. He gonna give them 2 days. Yeah. He gonna give them a week. He gonna give them 5 more
2
days.
Weeks.
And Iran is just not buying any of it. They're doing what they want to do. They're making him look like a fool, all out in broad daylight, all on the center stage, and he looks stupid to Iran.
And let's be very clear, he does look stupid to Iran. He looks stupid to the entire world. But I think even bigger than that, why would you implement a ceasefire and then keep a blockade so that no one could still go through the Strait of Hormuz?
Because he want to take credit of opening it up, like as if he got control of it, and he don't. That's just like last week. Iran, he said he was going to do a ceasefire. They were supposed to open up the strait. He gets on social media, blur out a bunch of bull crap, and Iran closed it right back up. And they also closed it up because this fool kept his blockade up.
Right. They like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then they say, okay, well, the first ceasefire was supposed to be a ceasefire against Lebanon too. And then JD Vance get his, smoky-eyed, mascara wearing ass on public TV and says, oh no, Lebanon, we ain't worried about no Lebanon. And then guess what? They end up including Lebanon. So, I mean, this administration, that they say that we're winning and we're winning and we're winning and we done won so much that little Iran got few options. They got to go with what we tell them to do. But guess what? Strait's still not open.
Iran still shooting missiles.
Y'all done shot as many missiles. Y'all done depleted our defense weapons 50% in some cases, and the strait's still closed. So what does it say about American? I mean, I know we supposed to have the best military in the world, but you mean to tell me
we have a competent person running it? Heckseth and Trump ain't nobody. They don't know what the hell they doing. Heckseth drunk every day. He don't know what's going on.
Him and Cash.
Yeah, him and Cash going around getting drunk every day, and Trump have no clue.
So
they just are not qualified to do the jobs that they're assigned to. Nobody know what they're doing. Not even Trump and Vance are on the same page.
Well, that's the reason why MAGA is folding, and Tucker Carlson is, incredible for the left side as he is, but he's also, going hard against Trump. In fact, he's going so hard that even the news talking about it. So let's watch this clip, then we can come back and talk about it.
Talk about Tucker Carlson, because the breakup between he and the president has now reached another level. Let's watch what Tucker said on his show yesterday.
It's not enough to say, well, I changed my mind, or like, oh, this is bad, I'm out. It's like, in very small ways, but in real ways, you and me and millions of people like us are the reason this is happening right now. We'll be tormented by it for a long time. I will be. And I want to say I'm sorry for misleading people. It was not intentional. That's all I'll say.
He's talking about his support for President Trump, which he effectively is saying he regrets.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting turnabout from the Republican National Convention when he was a primetime speaker and delivered like a 45-minute off-the-cuff, again, no notes, just about how this was the greatest option that anybody and any voter could want. And he has a very significant following that is vigorous in their support for him, and that support overlapped pretty directly with President Trump during the campaign. And I think Trump campaign officials would acknowledge that that certainly wasn't hurtful in any way, shape, or form. That was only helpful. I think the big question that I've had throughout kind of the splits through various parts of the MAGA universe, sometimes they can be overstated, sometimes we try and read too much into them, but on Tucker Carlson specifically, is the number of times they've kind of toggled back and forth between, I'm kind of out of the circle now, no, now I'm back in it, and then all of a sudden he shows up at the White House for an oil executive event and is standing right next to him.
There like 5 days before the war started.
And so like I don't necessarily read that much into it, because for whatever reason, whatever he says publicly, he can still eventually get the president on the phone. I think the biggest question right now is the frustration that Josh was alluding to nationally with the war. The frustration for younger voters who the idea, many of them very shaped by the experiences in Iraq and Afghanistan, thinking we were lied to or we were misled. And what the kind of, I guess, durability of that frustration or disappointment will be coming into electoral seasons ahead.
Do you think he's wrestling with his conscience?
I think that Tucker had plenty of time to untorment himself between January 6, 2021 and Election Day of 2024. He had plenty of time to torment himself and say, I give up on this man. Instead, he embraced him. He helped propel him to this historic election win. I think that Tucker can't, by being sorry now, run away or rewrite history.
Nor can I. To do with this election, in my opinion. I mean, Trump is like a singularly talented campaigner who made it through all these historic, like chaotic periods, disasters, and Kamala Harris made Trump president. Joe Biden made Trump president. Tucker's acting as if like he went out and he gave the endorsement and that rallied all these people. Like this guy was going to win anyway. It had nothing to do with it.
Maybe so, but yes. Tucker did absolutely boost Trump. He did absolutely support Trump, and he did it despite, we know.
Hold on a second, and. He told the biggest lie ever told when it came to January the 6th. Remember, they tried to rewrite history, and he was the main one on Fox News trying to play like it was a ordinary, peaceful day and try to act like nobody got unalived at the Capitol. He tried to act like the FBI was in on the attack. And, he tried to rewrite the narrative. So I'm not buying what Tucker is trying to sell because he's really not condemning Trump. All he's doing is feeling sorry for himself. And I guess because his son left J.D. Vance's office or whatever. I'm side-eyeing him. And like I said, he's not condemning anything that Trump is doing, in my opinion, not enough. And he knows that Trump is not qualified to do this job, and he's still not saying nothing. So miss me with these talking points, Tucker.
It looks like he's not fooling nobody else either.
No, he's not fooling anybody.
privately saying totally different things. And to Geraldo's point, back in these text messages that were released in the Dominion defamation lawsuit, here's what Tucker said back around that time. Trump has a pretty low success rate in his business ventures, is what his producer says. He says, that's for sure. All of them fail. What he's good at is destroying things. He's the undisputed world champion of that. Tucker then says, we are very close to being able to ignore Trump most nights. I truly can't wait. I hate him passionately. Another Tucker message.
Wow.
That's the last 4 years. We're all pretending we've got a lot to show for it, but admitting what a disaster it's been is too tough to digest. But come on, this isn't really an upside to Trump. This is somebody who has profited off of talking out of both sides of his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, no surprise that today he is crying some, whatever.
Right, and you're going to get a lot of apologists and things like that, but the consequences are real. And again, if you look in our district, we have 55,000 units of housing that are necessary. Half of our kids are in poverty. We are actually struggling because of the decisions, the policies, the programs that this administration has pushed. And there has been nothing to actually adequately address that. And so the fact that he's failing in the polls is because this administration is failing.
Yeah, we do need
it's
to
failing
start
to actually
focusing
protect
more on
our
our
country. Nobody feels more safe in the
low-income
United States of America
neighborhood.
after 7 weeks of a disastrous war that we're having in Iran. We are living the consequences of an election that I God wish we had won, but the consequences are really impacting everyday working class folks, not those who are politicos and talking heads and things like that. The most is really impacting people in a day-to-day life.
Scott Jennings, when he was talking there to his brother, the former GOP Trump speechwriter, Buckley Carlson, what do you say to that?
Well, I don't know if he's seen the light, but he definitely probably saw a better payday on the side against Trump. So
that's what I was going to say.
His preference that Kamala Harris had become the president of the.
Here you go, this closeted, whatever you want to call them.
United States. That will come as a surprise to, I'm sure, a lot of people who used to view Tucker Carlson as a conservative and someone who, had certain kinds of values. And what's he sorry for? That we got into an engagement here that might ultimately lead to taking away nuclear weapons.
We got into an engagement, Scott. That is quite a way to put it.
From Iran. I mean,
we started a war.
I mean, is he now claiming he had no idea that Donald Trump held the position that he would never permit Iran to have nuclear weapons? If that's what he's saying today, he's kind of a moron. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. Or he's willfully misleading people. The president was clear. He'll never let them have nuclear weapons. We just saw on 60 Minutes on Sunday night a broad agreement among
when was
the
he clear
experts.
about that?
They have
Because it clearly
970
wasn't
pounds of enriched uranium.
Look, that man ain't say shit about no damn Iran not having no nuclear weapons during his campaign.
And
He said, we not going to war.
But at the end of the day, while Tucker was promoting Trump, you seen what the text messages were. I hate him. I can't stand him. So in private, you can't stand him. You knew he was doing, all this nefarious crap. You knew he was a piece of shit. And you still went out there and promoted him because you got paid to do that. So I feel like you're getting paid to flip the script on him, allegedly.
That's
so
exactly what I feel.
Yeah, I'm not buying it.
Enough to make 10 or 11 nuclear bombs. This is not acceptable to the president. He had that position back in 2024. He had that position back in the first term. He has that position today. To say now that you're sorry that you elected a president that wanted to take away nuclear weapons from this terrorist regime, I don't get it.
Tucker Carlson was also at the White House as recently as February. I mean, a few weeks ago. So the New York Times
reported he was on the phone with President Trump in the lead up to all of this.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm not gonna go so far as to agree with Scott by any
It'd be the best possible PR thing you could do.
But
right
I am gonna say that the idea that we're gonna take Tucker Carlson at face value on this, I'm not somebody personally who is going to listen to Tucker Carlson say these things and feel like he has had a genuine change of heart. I think there's all sorts of personal ambitions at play here. We can set that aside. But I will say it is problematic for Trump's coalition.
And I also want to thank you for saying this, Teresa. Because at the end of the day, what this man is saying is, even if he was to say that Trump held the position that he didn't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon, that was the position that we were currently in. They didn't have a nuclear weapon, nor were they even slighted to be even able to get a nuclear weapon for another decade or so, 10
Right.
years plus. So there was no risk of Iran having a nuclear weapon. Iran was not an imminent threat to the United States of America. And so everything that this, I don't even know what to call, this brown nosing sycophant Scott Jennings, everything that
political actor.
it falls by the wayside, because guess what? There was never a threat of Iran having a nuclear weapon.
And they had a treaty. They had remember,
we had an agreement in place.
Obama had an agreement in place that Trump tore up. Like Alice said before, he create problems to try to fix them, to make it look like he's doing presidential stuff when he's the one who's the problem in the beginning.
Exactly.
Even outside of the pod sphere, real Americans, actual voters, including Republican voters, are frustrated by this war. They don't understand why we're in it. We're continuing to see what we've seen play out today is, Donald Trump had his vice president teed up on the tarmac to go and negotiate, and then had to pull him back. Just as a general rule, if you were trying to project strength and like you have your arms around the situation, having to pull your vice president back from traveling to the negotiations, not a great signal. So I think in addition to the fact that gas prices, oil prices, airplane tickets are going up, Trump is also eroding on this sense that he is strong and in control. So politically, hugely problematic for him.
So the president has called Tucker a low IQ person because he is extremely upset with how he's reacting. My group chat is people either being like, the grift is strong, or this reflects an actual sentiment. Where are we on the spectrum?
Oh, my goodness. I mean, laugh out loud. Look, he's been upset before. After January 6th, he was, a demonic force. He said all sorts, but they came crawling back. I suspect
Charlie, did you just say crawling?
He'll come back home because, look, these guys have monetized. They're making a lot of money off of this stuff. And I can't imagine he's going to have a real permanent rupture with Trump because he'd probably lose market share and audience. He'll be back.
Tamara, I got to ask, you're a podcaster. What's the situation here with what he's doing?
Yeah, I just can't imagine that he is going to find market share in the, Trump apostate space. That's a pretty...
Because everybody going against Trump, I guess. But somebody said Obama was trying to give Iran a nuke dummy. And it's so funny that you say that, because people cannot let Obama live his life. Obama stay rent-free in these MAGA, these people who support Trump's head. Like, let that man live his life. He put in an agreement that was still in place. And guess what? Iran posed no threat of having a nuclear weapon for over a decade. Let that man live. That means that Trump still had a long time to even negotiate a better deal if he thought that he could do so. And he didn't have to start a war to do it.
Pretty crowded space at this point. So it's not clear to me what is happening, but a lot of people who listened to Tucker Carlson did say no forever wars. They really bought into that, and now here he is.
But Tucker Carlson used all of his platforms for many years, amplifying right-wing extreme hate, bigotry, racism, and anything else. So certainly we do not take his commentary serious. And I think what the America First crowd is figuring out, that there's no interest like self-interest when it comes to Donald Trump. He is not a principled man. He does not have a core, and now they're figuring it out. But don't look for them to embrace the Democrats.
You'll be able to be on Tucker's show apparently, but with his comments.
Now, what was that about? That was a dig?
I know, right?
I hope he don't wear his Easter suit up there like he got it on today. But anyway. Okay, buddy. Better say he got his Easter suit on tonight.
The two pundits were both pretty matched in their attire. I don't know. Maybe they got a memo from from the people. They were complimenting each other.
But see, that's what happens though when you flip flop back and forth or what have you. People don't have they lose trust in you. You got to stick to a position. You got to say say it with your chest, and all this back and forth with Tucker. So nobody's going to believe him. Nobody's is buying what he's trying to sell. So
First off, sir, you are the president of the United States of America. Why are you even responding to these YouTubers, podcasters?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like you're an everyday person.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
come on now. You should at least have a little bit more respect for your own position, to be honest. But apparently he says, "Look, if you come for me, I'm going to come for you regardless."
Yeah, tit for tat.
Tit for tat.
You
And
know,
I'm
like,
always
like
going to
a
win.
kid, like a kid,
Yeah.
like a kid, and I got the power, and so I'm over you, and so I can say what I want to say, but I'm gonna cry and try to arrest you when you say
Can you
something
just be a
about me.
president for, just for 24 hours? Can we get
Yeah.
24 hours of you just being a regular president, sir?
Right.
Like, we're kind of tired of the shenanigans. It was entertaining at first, but
Mhm.
what's not entertaining is us going to the grocery store having to pay more for the same thing.
That part. Yeah,
What's
that's
not
not entertaining at all.
right, and we tired of it. We're tired of you trying to, use our American soldiers for Netanyahu's. Let them take their whole. Once they deplete their entire army, Israel, then
Mhm.
we'll come in.
Hi,
Then we'll come
Mimi.
in. But
Thanks for
let
being
them
here.
deplete their army first.
Yeah.
And what's good, Mimi? Yeah. We shouldn't have there should be none of our soldiers out there risking their lives for this shit.
And over 150 of them done died, if that's the correct number. I doubt if I bet you the numbers probably triple that amount because you can't believe anything that this administration say. Um, but I guarantee
Yeah,
you,
it's been
we don't
said
we
that
don't
they
we don't
lied.
lost.
Yeah, didn't they lie about the rescue mission?
Yeah, they lie about everything. You
So
can't believe anything that they say. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all lies, and it's and everything changes on a day to day basis. So you can't even like if he make a policy, you can't even depend on that policy to go through or to be whatever the policy is. Hell, he might take it back tomorrow and say I changed my mind. I don't want to do it that way. And really, they need to go get him a checkup because this is
another one?
yeah, this is signs of dementia. It was clips out today. It was clips out this weekend or either this week that he had some type of episode that they're trying to hide. And that's another thing. They always want to talk about how sleepy Joe Biden was, how much dementia Joe Biden was. Joe Biden was nowhere this bad as far as making a decision. Even if Joe Biden had dementia, and even if he needed a nap during the day, because most old people do, at the end of the day, Joe Biden knew what he was talking about. He wasn't addressing the public. He let the public be the public, and he was the president. He stayed in his place, and that's
Right.
one thing Trump can't do. His skin is so damn thin. He act like he got to address each and every last American that say anything about him. Look at all of the comedians that he's trying to take off air, which he succeeded in doing that because Kimmel is leaving, Colbert is leaving, and I guess they're going to be working on the other one. What's the other one name? That's on ABC too. Jimmy.
Kimmel,
Kim is
Fallon.
yeah, Jimmy Fallon. They'll be working on Jimmy Fallon next.
Well,
Because
let-
because the baby can't take a insult. The baby can't take the American public. Even though he causing the American public all this havoc. I don't know why he think anybody's going to be on board with what he's doing other than dumb MAGA people that'll go along to get along with anything just to be right, in their
yeah,
eyesight.
just to own the libs.
Yeah, just on the deals and to be right. So,
Well, the thing is, this is all. I mean, while all this is very important because it is a part of the First Amendment, and he's very much tearing down our Constitution, like in trying to. He's in every facet of the American, in the American, like everything, government, the science, the education,
Everything.
Nutrition, everything. He is corrupting. But on top of that, this man, we talked about the nuclear scientists becoming up missing. Well, it's been alleged that this man has had to be stopped from using nuclear weapons, and so we're gonna watch this clip real quick. We're gonna see exactly.
Plot thickens, ain't it?
Yeah, we were talking about it just a minute ago, and guess what? This is our reality.
Big news. Donald Trump tried using nuclear weapons, according to one publication, and was only stopped by one military professional. Tucker Carlson is in the news. He is apologizing. Okay. And going back to nukes, someone was just escorted out who knows our nuclear secrets. I'll tell you why in just a moment. First, let's get to this big story. U.S. President Donald Trump was denied access to his nation's nuclear codes by a high-ranking U.S. military official, according to explosive reports. Retired CIA analyst Larry Johnson claimed on the popular YouTube program Judging Freedom that during an emergency meeting on Saturday, Trump attempted to access the nuclear codes. Quote, one report coming out of the meeting at the White House is that Trump wanted to use the nuclear codes, and General Dan Kane stood up and said, no. He invoked his privilege as the head of the military, so to speak. It was apparently quite a blow-up. There's some very bizarre things going on in D.C. It comes amid growing concern about the president's erratic behavior. Of course, just days ago, Trump made a disturbing sexual comment on stage that stunned his audience into silence. Here's that.
So I want to just thank everybody very much, and I'm asked to take a few questions. And unlike other politicians, they would like the questions screened. I don't ask for screening of the questions. You can ask me anything you want. You can talk sex. You can do whatever the hell you want. I'm here for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to talk. Oh my God. This is so disgusting and embarrassing.
Our president of the strongest country in the world talking about you can talk to me about anything. I ain't asked him to screen no questions or nothing.
That let you know where his mindset is. But that let you know where his mindset is, you know.
Yeah.
Hello, Epstein Island. And shout out to Keith Edwards for this clip. But yeah, that just lets you know where his mindset is.
Oh, nasty ass, perverted ass, orange glob ass. You nasty.
Just nasty.
All right. No, we don't want to talk to you about sex. No! And don't even say the word again.
Well, do Pawpaw even know anything about sex? Come on, now, Pawpaw. You're a whole Pawpaw. How is you talking about sex?
The nuclear codes either. Now, the nuclear code allegations have not been verified, and it remains unclear what purpose the nuclear codes alone would serve if accessed. However, this follows reports that Trump, which we talked about earlier today, was excluded from the Situation Room by military advisors during a crucial Iran rescue mission. Okay, so there's a couple things about this that I'm like, one, okay, looks like the system is working, I guess. Like, I suppose that's the silver lining, that Donald Trump was like, hey, let's check out the nukes. What's the code? And then a top military official was like, no. So that's good. That's happening. What's not so great, as I'm sure you're going to feel the same, is that it's not great. The President of the United States is inquiring about nukes. That's not a good situation for us to be in. And one that is completely unwarranted, by the way. There's absolutely no reason why the President of the United States should be asking about it. Like, we are not in any imminent threat or danger.
All right, well, we have somebody who missed it, so we're going to go back just to kind of play that little clip again. I know it was disgusting, y'all, but, you know.
All right.
So I want to just thank everybody very much, and I'm asked to take a few questions. And unlike other politicians, they would like the questions screened. I don't ask for screening of the questions. You can ask me anything you want. You can talk sex. You can do whatever the hell you want. I'm here for you.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell you want to talk about, you gonna talk about sex, rock and roll, dildos, whatever you want to do. This is y'all president talking this way.
Little girls.
Yeah. You don't even know what sex is at this point. Okay.
No reason
Yeah, it's just a regular part of the conversation.
why those need to be used. And this is just another proof point in the ongoing examples that Donald Trump is not of sound mind. He absolutely has no business doing this job. That's why, like, when there are reports that Donald Trump is away golfing during the weekend, I don't even talk about it. I don't even get mad about it because I'm like, good. Another day where he's being distracted. If he's distracted, it's a day where truly we're a bit safer. And we kind of have to keep banking on these days. And thank you to the military professional who allegedly told Trump no about nuclear. It's crazy that that's where we are right now. And as one person writes here, let me repeat this so it sinks in. A retired CIA analyst just went on the news and said the president of the United States tried to use nuclear codes on Iran yesterday. Only one general stopped him, not Congress, not the cabinet, not international law. One man, one uniform, one no. We were seconds from nuclear war and nobody tells us. Well, I don't know if we were seconds from nuclear war, but certainly it's something we should all be told about. Something extremely bad is happening and Tehran knows it. Here is one person's telling of those events.
And then there was a report out that they had an emergency meeting Saturday night. And apparently, well, one report coming out of that meeting at the White House is that Trump wanted to use the nuclear codes, and General Dan Kane stood up and said no. He invoked his privilege as the head of the military, so to speak. It was apparently quite a blow up. There are pictures of Kane coming out of that meeting with his head down to the ground. So, you know, there's some very, very bizarre things going on in D.C.
You let me know. This sounds 100% believable. True. Yes. This just sounds right to me. This sounds right to me. It's terrible this is happening, but this sounds like it actually did happen for sure. On that note, that's why I think it's really interesting to me that we have someone like Tucker Carlson apologizing about helping getting Donald Trump elected. Like,
looking back, because I mean, you and I and everyone else who supported him, you wrote speeches for him, I campaigned for him. I mean, we're implicated in this for sure.
Yes.
It's not enough to, I do think it's, and I want to say I'm sorry for misleading people. It was not intentional. But anyway, but the question does present itself immediately. Like, what is this? Was this always the plan? You don't want to be a conspiracy nut, but like, clearly there were signs of low character. We knew that.
You knew what the damn plan was. Don't play like you don't
Sorry,
know.
I don't forget you. I don't forget
Right.
you at all. Let us remember, Tucker Carlson.
It looks like no one believes Tucker at this point.
No, ain't nobody buying this BS Tucker trying to push.
But what I do notice is that, you know, everybody still is like, we already do this. You know, so it kind of makes it a little bit better because people are not only not buying it, they're also saying this is stuff that you should have already seen. Everybody, the world, we've all seen this. You knew, sir. You knew exactly what the fuck you were doing.
Him and all the rest of them that voted him in knew. They didn't care because they thought they thought Project 2025 was for us.
No, fuck that. They were going with the money.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, what else?
Not the American public though. Yeah, the podcasters were going for the money. The newscasters were going for the money.
Oh yeah, but Trump. The people were thinking that Trump was going to really. Well,
the voters wasn't going for the money. The voters thought that they were going to have more money in their pocket.
Right.
They thought that Project 2025 was going to hit the people of color, and didn't realize it was designed for them also.
Yeah,
that's what they didn't bank on. And so now everybody want to cry, spill out in the streets, and do No King's March. Well, I can guarantee you probably half of those people that's marching about no kings actually helped put this king in office. Allegedly. I don't have the stats on it, but that's what I, in my opinion, I feel like that's what happened. And now everybody having buyer's remorse is basically what's going on.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. I think that, like you said, even with the Virginia race, a lot of
Yeah.
those people that
Hey,
voted,
Vaughn. Yeah.
a lot of those people, what's going on, Vaughn? Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to Vaughn the Madam.
Alice, the blessed child of God.
Alice, the blessed child of God. Who else we got in the building?
What else we got up in here? I had some other people that come up in here earlier today. I can't remember, but because we were kind of busy with the show. But yeah, but at the end of the day, they knew exactly, what they were doing when they put him in office, because they wanted to be racist. They wanted these policies to affect Black people and other people of color, and they didn't think it was going to hit their back door. They thought that they were going to be able to keep all their money. They thought that their stock portfolios was going to go way up. They also thought that the gas prices were going to go down. Everybody thought they was going to be living, happily ever after. And now everybody's having buyer remorse because they see they put a deranged, unhinged lunatic in office, and now everybody want to get rid of him. But I guarantee you, at that King's March, I bet you half of them voted for him. I'm gonna say at least half.
You so silly. I mean, I would not doubt that. All right. Well, I think the late we got
Allegedly say she's still here. Okay, sis. Thank you for listening.
we got a couple more videos. Really, we don't have that many. We have the latest on the Middle East,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we already talked about the VA redistricting, and I think that's the last one.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's finish this off with the latest on the Middle East, y'all.
Okay, so right off the top, the war in Iran, as we look at this map here that really punctuates what we're about to tell you. At this hour, the world exists in what the president calls an indefinite ceasefire. It came just hours after he threatened to bomb Iranian infrastructure such as bridges and utilities. Because of this, it's a pressure cooker. Tensions remain. Iran fired on at least 3 ships in the Strait of Hormuz and claimed seizing 2 other ships. That means Iran's chokehold on that critical fuel passageway continues today at this hour to disrupt world fuel supplies. President Trump announced that ceasefire in this social media post last night, saying the government of Iran is seriously fractured. We've been asked to hold our attack on the country of Iran until such time as their leaders and representatives can come up with a unified proposal. Well, team coverage now. CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata is live in Tel Aviv, Israel. But let's go ahead and start with CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand. Natalie, ceasefire, yes. Extension, yes. But do these new developments really put all of that on a bubble at this hour?
Yeah, Reed, we just don't know when the second round of in-person negotiations between the U.S. and Iran could happen. The president in that post late yesterday afternoon acknowledged that Iran's government is fractured, he said in that post. And, regional experts have been talking about kind of tensions between the hardliners within the regime and the current government apparatus, and also those who might be more moderate. So that's contributing to the challenges of getting together what the president calls a unified proposal. That's something that the administration is waiting for, but they haven't put a timeline on how long the president is willing to wait. Now, the New York Post earlier today reported that Pakistani officials were saying maybe something could happen in the next 36 to 72 hours. And the New York Post asked President Trump about that, and reportedly he said it's possible over text message to the New York Post. Read.
Well, the president also monitoring message from leaders in the Middle East. What is he hearing, and what is the reaction there at the White House?
So we know Pakistan, of course, has been the key mediator in all of this, and we know that Pakistan's government officials say the outreach continues to both sides, to the U.S., of course, and also the Iranians. The prime minister, who's been a key figure, put out a social media post saying, thanking President Trump for the extended ceasefire and saying that he sincerely hopes both sides will continue to observe the ceasefire and eventually, be able to reach a deal during a second round of scheduled talks in Islamabad. We just, again, don't have the date for that. And we are also still waiting to hear from the White House regarding Iran seizing these 2 ships in the Strait of Hormuz. We have not seen a statement yet from the president nor from White House officials.
It's so crazy because Iran say you seize one of our ships, we seize 2 of yours. What's good? They are not playing with the with Trump and the U.S. They like, I don't know if you thinking that these propaganda posts that you putting out there are really gonna make you look good, but we're going to make you look like an asshole every time you post something.
That you are.
We're gonna show people the dumbass, low IQ asshole, blundering, dementia-ridden, fool that you are.
Lunatic.
Yeah. All the words.
Baby. Petulant child.
Right.
Dumb and uneducated.
Diaper messing, messing your own diaper ass.
Agent Shitty Pants.
Agent Shitty Pants with a hoe for a housewife.
Okay.
So.
We've also been tracking, reaction out of Iran, people of Iran, and what they're saying. The Associated Press managed to speak to a couple of residents in Tehran, expressing the deep uncertainty, going to bed and not knowing whether that they were going to wake up to bombings or war continuing. One person said the way things currently are, one just doesn't know what to do. Meanwhile, other residents who might be more supportive of the regime are calling on their officials to, quote, stand firm and yielding, obviously, a variety of
Can he stop being who he is?
Can you stop being so disrespectful?
No, we're not going to stop being disrespectful. He's disrespectful. Tell him to stop being disrespectful to the public.
He need to stop tweeting, period.
Right.
Stop
being disrespectful to our damn pocketbook. Stop being disrespectful to my gas tank. No, I can't stop being disrespectful.
Stop disrespecting our farmers. Stop disrespecting
our children.
Exactly.
Our kids can't even watch
disrespecting our Constitution.
Listen here, whenever he give a speech, the kids, you can't even, the kids used to, your parents used to revere the president. Oh, everybody be quiet. Let's sit down and watch the president speak. You can't even have the kids in the room with the president when he's
right. Who knows what might come out his belligerent, defiled, dementia-ridden, low IQ head ass mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like you have shit in your mouth.
They upset.
They
upset.
Oh, you'll get
MAGA.
over it. You'll get
It'll
over
be all right, MAGA. It'll be all right.
You'll get over it. You've heard more. You've heard worse from your president.
Go to Truth if you go to Truth Social, you'll hear some stuff worse than this. If you go to Truth Social over there.
You've heard worse from your president. Stop whining.
Right. Your president will say way worse than what we're saying. We are being respectful.
All right, yeah.
Dibs inside Iran as well, Reed.
Natalie Brown at the White House with that picture. Thank you so much. So now let's turn to CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie Daggett. He is live in Tel Aviv, Israel. So Charlie, what can you tell us about those attacks in the Strait of Hormuz? And really, could we see a larger U.S. military response?
Yeah, Reed, so we first heard from a British maritime security group this morning about Iranian gunboats opening fire on 3 passing ships. And then we got confirmation from Iran's Revolutionary Guards that they not only fired on 2 ships, but also seized those vessels, saying that they were operating without required authorization. They were seized in the Strait of Hormuz, and one of them reportedly suffered damage to its bridge from gunfire and rocket-propelled grenades. And of course, this follows, as we've reported, the U.S. capture of an Iranian flagged ship earlier this week. And as you said, it raises the stakes over the ceasefire that was supposed to be in place today, supposed to run out anyway, but was extended indefinitely overnight by President Trump. And I think we have to keep remembering, worth noting, that the ceasefire is not just between the U.S. and Iran, but Israel and Iran too.
And Lebanon.
Well, and Charlie, we know that every story needs to have high stakes and deep need, and definitely the stakes are high, the needs are deep for all players. Take us through the military buildup in the region, because that only adds to both of those elements. We understand 1,000 more troops are on the way?
Yeah, so Reed, we have been reporting for a couple of days now that there has not.
Hold on a damn second. So you want to send some more people out to get unalived?
Right.
Okay, you already got some troops over. You already got what, 2,000 or 3,000 troops over there. Now you want to send some more?
Oh no, they got about 50,000, a little over 50,000, maybe 70,000, 75,000 now.
And where is that at? I ain't seen that report.
They've been reporting it.
Okay, that's one I missed. I didn't think that many soldiers were over there. Over 50,000 soldiers over there already. So is Barron Trump name in that 50,000?
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay, we need to add his name to the list. Him and Dumb Don Jr. and Erratic Eric. See him over there too. And Jared Kushner. See this ass over there too. Since he Mr. Money Man, send him on over there. But and that's the whole thing, you know. You start.
Maybe it's time people pay their own bills. You absolutely right. Maybe it's time we stop sending money over to other countries, you know, and paying their bills when we can't pay our own citizens' bills and put America first. Maybe that's what we should do.
And I get so tired. I get so tired of people talking about the assistance that the American people get, because at the end of the day, most Americans go to work. They're not sitting around waiting on no welfare check. Hell, they can't afford to sit around and wait on no welfare check.
And if you ask me, not to cut you off, just to add to, the minimum wage doesn't even match what the current cost of living is.
Minimum wage has been the same for 25 years. And that's what killed me. You know, MAGA want to vote against their own interests. And when 95% of MAGA is the ones that's on welfare, they're part of that.
I damn sure don't get no welfare.
I don't get no welfare either. Never have received welfare. Worked 37 years of my whole entire life.
I would love to say I get welfare, but you know who gets the biggest welfare check?
Elon Musk.
Hello.
Donald Trump. Billionaires that don't.
He living in government housing right now, Trump.
Yeah. Yeah, he living in Section 8 right now as we speak.
And this motherfucker is demolished. So you see what kind of tenant he would be. He's just like a regular ass, ghetto ass tenant that you guys want to talk about. He the one in the rental property tearing our shit up.
Right. And then decking it out in some old fashioned gold shit.
Yeah, just like that's some old ghetto ass nigga shit.
Yeah, and gold ain't even in right now.
Ain't even in, but he want to go use other people's money to deck out the rental property that he living in.
And let me just say this: that ballroom that he played like he was building, he came on out and said that it's really gonna be a bunker for him because he know everybody gonna be after him. He know the Iranians are probably gonna be looking for him. Okay,
yeah,
so he's trying to build a bunker. Because he know people gonna be looking for him, and also he's building that bunker because he probably more than likely, allegedly, is probably not planning on leaving in 2028. But them federal marshals won't have another word for him if he when we get ready to get a new president, because them federal marshals won't be working for you anymore, and they will come and escort your orange butt right on out the White House, sir. So you can get a bunker or. Get whatever you think, build whatever you think you're gonna build, but you're gonna leave the White House. Trust and believe that.
Been a sort of de-escalation here, even with the ceasefire. When I spoke to Central Command in charge of this region, as you know, I said, what does the ceasefire mean? They said rearm, reposition, and maybe for some of those forces to sort of regather themselves, considering the intensity, the tempo of this fight. But what's important here is we're now looking at 3 aircraft carriers or carriers
And really, to tell you the truth, with this comment that you just had up, I think that the Democrats can get anybody, any color, any
Yeah,
race, and guess what? It's
they
gonna
gonna
be
be.
they gonna beat the Republican Party. So you may be right. This may be the time to get a good old black woman in, and I guarantee you,
Cause
if a
you know
black
what?
woman on the
'Cause you know
ballot,
what?
I'm voting for her just because she a black woman. So
And
I hope that upsets you.
speaking of black women, why are they trying to usher in a black woman to come in for the HHS to come and clean up the mess that that RF Jr. or what's his name, RK?
RFK.
Robert Kennedy. Yeah, what Robert Kennedy done messed up. So now they need a black woman to come clean up everything. You know, that's what they do. That's what they do. They need black people to come clean up their messes that they make. Okay.
Exactly, because I mean,
Like Obama had to do.
look at how the sheep went after Donald Trump. Y'all motherfuckers, y'all wasn't people. Y'all was definitely sheeple behind Donald Trump. Didn't have a mind to think of your own, and probably still don't. You probably still looking for another clown to follow behind.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know who's gonna take y'all place. Can y'all put that in the chat? Because we would love to know, you know, who's gonna take y'all place. Because see, Trump is a brand, and I don't think y'all have nobody else to that's gonna do this branding the way Trump can. He's been a con man all his life. He got a lot of experience in conning the people. So y'all gonna have to come up with y'all a good con artist to run for office in 2028.
That smoky-eyed JD Vance ain't gonna get it for y'all. Buckeyed, cockeyed Patel, cockeyed Cash, he ain't gonna do it. Lizard Lips Carolyn, she ain't gonna get it. So I don't know who y'all gonna run that. Who gonna be the next?
Now JD Vance ain't gonna be a good candidate because he's married to an Indian woman, so he out. They don't care for his wife, so unless he divorced his wife and give Erica Kirk.
Yeah.
That's the only way he can get in there. But they're not gonna be able to go. They're not gonna let Usher in the White House like that.
I call Erica Kirk Ursula Kirk because she's just an old witch posing as a regular woman. In my opinion.
Well, we don't have to talk about her because Candace is taking her out. So, even though I don't, I'm not a Candace Owens fan, but Candace is doing a great job of calling Erica Kirk ass out.
Strike groups that are either in this region or on the way, notably the Ford, the Gerald R. Ford, because we talked about this before. This has been on deployment since June. It was in the Caribbean. The Maduro raid, all of that.
Right.
This is the same aircraft carrier. It has been plagued with issues about, plumbing issues. There was a fire in the laundry department. It's not only.
Don't tell me we got reject boats over there now.
European Command, EUCOM in the Mediterranean. We learned that it has turned back. It's now in the Red Sea, which makes it relevant to what is about to unfold or what they're preparing for. In addition to that, the George H.W. Bush is also on the way there, or here. So you've got the Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group, which is the centerpiece of that blockade just south of the Strait of Hormuz, which is putting that blockade in place for the U.S. military. And then you've got the Ford and the Bush that are also becoming part of whatever may unfold. And the reason we talk about all of this, we talk about the Ford U.S. military posture, is while these diplomatic back and forth may be going on, the U.S. military is preparing for the repercussions or what may happen after that. And they are fully forward. In fact, in a way, in terms of the assets here with 3 carrier groups and squadrons of F-18s, F-35s, F-22s here in Israel and at Al Udeid, they are as forward postured as they have ever been since this conflict began.
All of this playing out, of course, in the midst of that ceasefire extension between the U.S. and Iran. But then when we talk about ceasefires in that region, we also have to really drill down and look at the ceasefire between Lebanon and Israel. Where do things stand on that?
Well, Reed, that's really important because we haven't really reported a lot about the other fight that's been going on between Israel and Lebanon, because the Israelis have got a sort of agreement adjacent to the U.S. with Iran, but the fighting with Hezbollah in Lebanon, that continued for a few days after that. Now, I guess it was about a week ago, losing track of time, the Israelis had come to an agreement with Lebanon for a ceasefire. The Israelis weren't fighting with Lebanon. This is an agreement that the Lebanese government would try to rein in Hezbollah. And I can tell you, it has been holding, because we have been here. We were here when the ceasefire began.
So Bibi can make a deal and it holds up with Lebanon, but Taco.
Yeah.
Taco,
He
Taco make a deal and he renege on the next day, and so we don't have a deal, but BB making deals.
Yeah.
So BB pimping us.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, it's getting pimped, in my opinion, big time. And we sending equipment that's not even up to par to go fight a fight.
Just fed up. I know you just fed up, but let Obama live his life. Obama not in office no more. It's Republicans got the Congress, the Senate, executive branch. Let Obama live out his retired.
Obama ain't been in office.
Been a president in the last decade.
Yeah. Why y'all still talking about Obama? I'm like Trump with these Epstein files. Y'all still talking about Obama?
It's okay. Let the man live the rest of his life out.
Well,
you don't have to live in your
one
head
of the greatest
presidents
anymore. But he was one of the greatest presidents.
That's
so
what it is.
I understand.
That's what it is. They don't want to let him go.
No, they, he lived in their head rent free because he was like one of the best.
But they can't openly give him praise. So this is their way of just keeping him alive.
Okay,
but we good.
Keeping hope alive. Keep hope alive.
All right. Poor Obama.
Between the U.S., Israel, and Iran, we didn't see as many air raid sirens as much coming here. But in northern Israel, that fight was still happening with Hezbollah. So that continued. They were taking incoming rockets and missiles. So when they pressed pause on that, largely it has held. The Israelis have said that Hezbollah has fired some rockets into...
You're absolutely right. Obama is the reason why we are still here and why we haven't been bombed by anybody else, because they put in an agreement in place that Iran was still honoring. So you're right. Obama is the reason why we are still here. You're absolutely right about that. But Trump is going to be the reason
that we might not be here.
That our safety may be at risk. Like we may be.
Hey, we may be living our last days at this point.
People are so crazy.
That part.
Northern Israel. But where there is a sticking point, because this has not been resolved, a ceasefire doesn't mean any sort of resolution, right? This isn't a peace agreement by any means. The Israelis still hold a part of territory in southern Lebanon. They say they're not going to let that go. And this is adjacent because the Iranians have said they'll open the strait, which they did for a short time, because of the agreement with Lebanon and Israel. So this is a sort of multi-layered, very complex situation in each of them.
It's not that fucking complex. Y'all should never, America and Israel should have never started a war with Lebanon.
Very simple.
And Iran. Very simple.
Point blank,
you know.
And since you made a mistake, just go home.
Just go home.
Just go home. Pack up y'all gear.
The world has seen us at our worst.
Yeah.
On the public stage. Let's just count our losses.
How much more embarrassment can we
take? Let's just count our losses. Come out the war.
Right.
With some stitch of dignity, and let the world start looking back at us as okay, as reasonable, a reasonable country that they can actually work with. Because at this point, I don't think anybody wants to work with us right now.
And listen, MAGA, I'm gonna need y'all to go to deprogram court school or something, whatever y'all
University or whatever y'all.
Yeah, can y'all go to a deprogramming church or something? You know, go get some counseling so we can try to all live happily ever after. You know, the best way we can, because we're not winning. I don't know where you get this idea that we. What do you say? He say we winning. We are not winning, sir. We are not winning. If we winning, I would hate to see what losing look like.
Now, I will say this: when you say we are winning, if you're talking about the Democrats, then yes, you're right about that, because the Democrats are winning.
Stage. We are not.
But on the world stage,
yes, we look like. We look like
we are whining. You may need to add a H after the W, because
listen, we look like that clown that's in office. That's what we look like. We look like clowns on the world stage at this point.
If that was the case, if the Democrats were the PDF files that you're claiming them to be, then why is Trump's name in the Epstein files more than probably Epstein at this point? If we got the unredacted, his name would probably show up more than the man that the files about. So they really call the Trumpstein files at this point.
That part.
But his whole administration is in them. So, and they all Republicans. So, what Democrats are you talking about? Please be specific.
I don't know.
Well, y'all, I think that's pretty much the end of that video as well. This was fun. I think maybe we should probably have a night where you guys can call in. I mean, you could come up on the stage and debate us, but you know it's late and we're gonna go to bed. But maybe if you guys subscribe to the channel, the next time we come on, we might do a call-in show where you guys can come on and debate why Trump is
why we winning in y'all eyesight. In y'all eyesight. How and why do you feel like we're winning when we're not winning nothing?
Yeah, I mean, anybody, Stevie Wonder could see that we ain't winning, but you know, if y'all want to play that game, then you know, maybe y'all can come up and tell us how we're winning, because we don't see it.
We don't see it at all. Well, I can't see
our
it.
Our pocketbooks ain't feeling the win. But yes, good night, Alice. Thank you all for being here tonight. We truly appreciate it. If you don't like Trump, hit the like button. If you support Trump, hit the like button. Let's just, you know, hit
and subscribe to the channel that's in the chat. Subscribe to what I said in the chat. Yeah. Because we enjoy y'all coming to our show. You know, hopefully, you know, we know y'all don't agree with everything we say or whatever, but we are bringing y'all facts. Y'all can't deny that.
And if y'all think that we winning, if you think America's winning, scan the QR code on the top left. And if you think America's losing, scan the QR code on the top left and subscribe to the channels. All right, guys, it's been a lot of fun again. I hope you guys are not still drinking the Kool-Aid. If you are, come back on the next show. Hopefully you won't be after that. Do you have any final words for the people?
Yeah, stop drinking the orange Kool-Aid. I just advise you to pick up a glass of wine so you can relax, and be able to endure it. Thank you to everyone that's in the chat, that's in the bushes, that support the channel. We appreciate each and every last one of you guys. And we will see you guys on the next show.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, you know what time it is. No scripts, no filters, no fear. We said what we said and meant that. Off the record, yeah, we keep it real. No filters, yeah, we say what we feel. Politics, stories, truth on display. Come on, we talk that talk in our own way. Off the record, Minion the got. Let's go. Foxy to Roxy, 3 she go hard.
I swear on everything, that is exactly what he said right here in the studio.
That is the funniest thing I have heard all week.
So hard. Lizzie with the facts she never miss. Nah. I said what I said, that's the twist. Off the record, come and catch the vibe. Where real ones talk and the truth survive. Late night truth, we don't just speak. We pull the roots from what they keep. From pain to progress, we light the flame. No spin, no script, we call it by name. Minion bring the vision, Foxy bring the flame. Lizzie drop a cease, it'll never be the same. I said what I said, say it loud, no shame. We taking truth global, remember the name. No apologies, no disguise. Just soul and purpose in our eyes. We move with power, bold and free. Say it loud, you gon' feel this energy. This the realest show you ever saw. On the record. We said what we said.